Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. I am here sitting down with Keri from Ready to Love. We're having a part two. Yeah, we're having a sit down conversation where we can discuss about relationships. And she shared some great gems the last time she was here, and I thought we should invite her back before Christmas comes and gather some presents of knowledge from Keri. How you doing today? Anyway,
I'm good. How are y'all? Hey, y'all.
we good. We good. You're looking radiant as always.
Thank you.
That's all right. Right. Obviously, I know you now, so we don't need to human verify. We don't need to do all of that. You know what I'm saying? So we can jump straight into conversation. We're not going to waste time today.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
sounds good. Okay. So the last time we spoke, I want to pick up from where we left off. The last time we spoke, if you
Mm,
guys didn't join us for that episode conversation, it was a really great, in-depth conversation that we had about relationships. Right? You was giving us
yeah.
your personal experience, and I guess I wanted to kind of take it back to that place because you were sharing your how you became self-aware after and noticed certain things about your partner's behavior at the time and your behavior at the time as well. And
Mhm.
you gave some really great presence of gems and knowledge about that. So I wanted to kind of take us back to that place, okay,
Okay.
and get a bit more insight into your ideas around relationships. So let me ask the first question:
Okay.
when is the first time you ever felt loved by a partner?
The first time I've ever felt loved by a partner.
Mm,
I would say my ex-husband. He did make me feel loved. He was my first real boyfriend, real everything. So yeah, I would say he was my first feeling loved by a partner.
mm. How did you receive the love then? So for you, how did you know that he loved you? What was he doing that you felt, I know he loves me?
He was just very caring. Like he just would check on me, make sure I was good. Um, he also cared about my family as well. I cared about his family. We just really looked out for each other. We were best friends. We did everything together. And the first time I really felt loved is when he actually met my family.
Okay.
He because I lived in Houston when I met him. I was in college and we worked together at this little denim jean store. And I thought he was corny. I did not think he was attractive at all. He was skinnier than what I usually like. And his whole approach was really corny. But he grew on me, and
Mm,
we built a friendship first, and then it became like a relationship because we would be in the store flirting. I'm folding my denim, and he's like whispering like flirty stuff in my ear or whatever. Um, and so we started to date, but it moved fast because young love, you move really fast. It's puppy
mm.
love, and you like each other a lot, and you're around each other all the time. Like even dating now, I don't feel the need to talk to you all day, every damn day.
Of course.
But with him, because this was new for me and I was excited, like we would talk to each other all day, every day. And it became a little bit, I would say unhealthy because it became like we were dependent on each other. If I didn't hear from him, I would feel some type of way. So I became very dependent on him emotionally, which that could be unhealthy within itself. So when he met my parents, he drove all the way to Dallas in the ice to come meet my family and spend the holidays with us. And I remember
That's real. That's real.
it's so childish. I remember when he pulled up, I like ran outside and I was like, baby. Like two kids were like ran to each other and hugged each other. And I was
Like
like,
a
I miss
film.
you so much. Yeah. And it was like, it was like what you see in the movies or whatever. So
Mm.
um
How old were you then?
I was probably like when we started dating, I think I was 19, 20 years old or something like that. I think it was 19
Wow.
or just turned 18, something like
Eh,
that. 'Cause I was at University of Houston.
Okay.
Um, I think I was probably into my second year, third year. I don't know what year, but we met and it moved fast.
Mm. So at 19, did you like at that age, were you thinking marriage, when you were at that age, or was it something that kind of grew on you, or like what was your kind
I,
of thoughts at 19?
I was thinking marriage at that age. Yeah, I was. And I'm from the South. I'm from the South. It's like the culture,
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like if I was here in DC, I definitely would not have been thinking marriage because, it's different here. So they're all about school, education, your career. I was in school, but I was also smitten over my boyfriend. So I was like, if he proposed to me, and we were living together in this raggedy ass apartment with like one couch. It was a TV, one of them little teeny tiny ass TVs that was on the little stand.
Come on, now. Real love.
Barely had any money, but I felt so happy to be with him. And so it was like this thing. Every time he would come home, I'd just be all excited. It's such a different, that first love is so different than after you've had a heartbreak. Because after you have a heartbreak, it's like you can't. There's like a block.
Get that.
Yeah. So he proposed to me in that empty apartment. I came home from like the holidays or something. This might be after he met my parents. I know it wasn't that far out, but I came home and he pulled out this teeny tiny itty bitty ring with a teeny tiny itty bitty diamond. And to me, it was the biggest diamond I've ever seen in my life. And I was just like, yes, I marry you. Not even looking at the full picture that we have no finances, no money. We can't have no kids right now because we broke. It's just like, but I was just like, I'm in love and this is love and this is what's supposed to happen next. I'm supposed to get married to him. Ciao. We're going to sip on that.
It's interesting because obviously that first love, as you spoke about, that first love, obviously for you got married with that first love. That's even different because like you said, I think anybody who's been in a semi-decent relationship in their first love, you stay longer when things are not going well because this is literally the first time you've experienced this emotion, this feeling of love. It's a rush, it's a drug, it's a high, you know what I mean? It's a wonderful experience. I feel sorry for anybody who hasn't gone through that just yet, but that first love,
it's a great feeling.
It's beautiful.
Yes, it is. It is very vulnerable.
So, go on. Touch on that.
Yeah, you're just very vulnerable. There's no fear there when you have that first love because you don't know what heartache feels like. So you're not afraid to be open and give your all, and I gave that relationship 100% of all my love that I had at the time that I knew of how to, at 21.
Yeah. I'm even trying to think back. First love, like I said, being free without any inhibitions. I'm wondering for you because I think for me, first love, I noticed deficiencies that I had. That's probably the first time I realized there are real deficiencies within myself. That there's dysfunctionality within myself and the way I think, the way I feel. I ask myself real questions. Why do you feel like that? Why do you get a little bit jealous? Even like, why do you feel like you feel hurt in certain situations? When are you sensitive? I think that's probably the first time I ever felt self-aware about who I was. Obviously being in school and people saying things, but that's the first time I really started to think about, whoa, there is a lot going on in this brain. Like, I don't know for you if that was the same thing for yourself at 19.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Overthinking, the insecurities were absolutely flared, like jealousy, insecurities, and just not being realistic, to be honest with you, because I was not, again, I've never been cheated on. I never had my heart broken. So I didn't even know what that looked like or that was possible. And even within my parents, their breakup wasn't due to cheating. It was just, they just were horrible communicators. So when that happened, like before that happened, I already had this insecurity within myself in like this jealousy that I didn't know existed. And also this fear of like losing him, So the fear of losing him I put him on this pedestal that was unhealthy. It was
Come on.
very unhealthy to put,
Mm.
and I don't think anyone wants to be put on that pedestal because
Yeah.
that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
And I feel like he had a lot of pressure at a very young age. And I put a lot of pressure on myself to try to be this perfect but very flawed girlfriend slash wife, that I was afraid to communicate my needs and what I wanted because I didn't want to lose him, you know? So I would just put myself behind, and you could tell, like my family, honestly, like my sisters didn't care for him that much because they saw me losing myself. I've always been, fashionable and loved doing my hair and, always sociable and try to be the life of the party. When I was with him, I dimmed my light for him. I dimmed my light, and I even physically dimmed my light. Like I didn't look that way. The way that he met me, I didn't look that way as a wife.
Wow.
And that was really due to what I thought a good wife would look like, or what that looks like. I didn't even know, again, back in the South, you're thinking, you have to exude this look for your husband. You have to look like a wife, not listen. I'm going to continue wearing my extensions. I'm going to continue putting my makeup on. I'm going to continue being me now. But then it was like, that's not who I was. I was so busy trying to please him. I started to resent him as I was getting older, because I was like, I'm losing myself and I'm not happy. And I'm very unhappy, and I don't know why. And a lot of it was my fault. It wasn't just on him. It's very much on me. Yeah.
Love that. Love that you spoke about insecurities and stuff like that. Because I think, that's something that is, like I said, you probably don't realize until you are in a relationship. Some of these things, get exposed in you.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever felt insecurity was with her. What did she say? I think she gave credit to this other guy. I think we were doing like what we call like a university application. And my letter got applauded by the school. It was like, this is an amazing letter. It's how you write a letter to the university. And I was gassed. I was like, yeah, that's me. And then she kind of read mine, and then read like one of my friends kind of guy, right? And the thing was, she kind of liked him first, but he didn't like her. So I then dated her. So now there's the insecurity just burning in me.
Yeah.
And she kind of said, oh, like she liked his. And I was like,
you're like, hold up. Why do you like his?
What exactly? Now my brain's really tinkering, like, do you know what I mean? And then you start to realize how that starts to zone in on everything, and you just get this tunnel vision, and everything becomes fight, flight, freeze, flop moment. You're instantly trying to instinctively react in the moment of different situations. And then you hear something. I'm not saying that she helped the situation, because there was other things that happened that definitely was spiking the situation, but that original piece of insecurity got shown in those moments that I really didn't have. I didn't realize I had. So for you, how did it show up in? I don't know if you can give us a little bit of an example of how it showed up, in the marriage for you.
Oh gosh. I mean, honestly, so the insecurity was already there. So I would question him a lot. If he would go, like I would feel jealous if he was with his friends, that jealousy was there. If there was another, I can tell you this. I'm a little embarrassed about this, but whatever. I'm gonna speak my truth. Okay, I've grown. So he had like this album or whatever. It's like a yearbook of his ex-girlfriend in there. So I was like, you have to burn her pictures.
Hey, listen, I'm with you. I'm with you. Spud me.
You have to burn her pictures. She cannot be in this house. And he was like, are you serious? I said, burn the pictures or it's over. So he literally, we had a fireplace. And I made him burn the pictures. And I was so jealous, like for no reason. But again, that tells you my self-esteem was to the ground. I was not sure of myself. And I depended on him and how he made me feel for me to feel sure of myself. That's where it got unhealthy because that's not his responsibility, right? And he was kind of raggedy anyway. So how's he going to try to make me feel secure when he's still working on his stuff? So we were honestly two broken people that came together that just created a toxic relationship because I wasn't the only person that was toxic. He was absolutely toxic as well, because he was a pathological liar. Like that's where the insecurities kind of flared. It was already there, but once he started lying, like it was grand lies. Like he
Open
like
season.
a whole made up story of he said he graduated from college at 15. He had this big college scholarship and he just really talked himself up and none of the stuff was true. And I found out it wasn't true after I fell in love with him. And his parents actually told me, yeah, no, that's not true. And he has like a problem with lying. And I was like, what? What am I supposed to do with this? So with that, and mixed with my insecurities, like it was a recipe for a disaster in our relationship where he was always having to prove himself and I never believed him. So it was just like a push pull type of relationship. It really wasn't the woman part and the jealousy part really didn't start happening till after we got married and he cheated. So it's like I didn't leave him right after he cheated. I tried to stick it in there, stick it out, and try to go to marriage counseling because one, we weren't married for a full year, so I was embarrassed. I didn't want to get divorced that quickly, and two, um, you know, for me, again, I'm like not thinking of myself and how I feel. I'm thinking of the full picture in this image, and I don't want to be a divorcee and I promised myself that I wouldn't get divorced like my parents. And, I just put this unneeded pressure on myself that really created misery for me. Mhm.
Yeah. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you loud and clear. Yeah, I'm hearing you. So being in, like I said, you put that pressure on yourself to
Mhm.
succeed, and that makes you stay longer.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe you can take us a little bit deeper. Like, what were you fighting? I know you were trying to, make sure you weren't quitting, but why was that thought process there? How did that get there? How did you get to that kind of mindset that you're holding on longer than you actually really need to? How does one get to that mindset for you anyway, from your perspective?
I just remember when my parents got divorced as a child, I remember being embarrassed that my parents were going through a divorce. And
Mm,
I looked at it as a failure. And
okay.
I think that from what I know now, and I explain this to my siblings or anyone who has a child, if you're going through a divorce, really check in with your children because
Come
even
on.
though they might act like they're okay, they're not okay.
You're not okay. Mm,
And I put that pressure on myself, and I told myself when I get married, I'm not getting a divorce, no matter what.
I hear
Me
you.
and my husband, we're going to stay together. We're not going to fight like my parents fought, and so I put this pressure on not being like my mother at all. Even though I love my mom, and I think she's a wonderful woman. She wasn't a wonderful wife, so I was like, I'm not going to be that person. But what's funny is what you try to fight against if you have not consciously purged what you were taught, meaning therapy, spirituality, and really looking at yourself and consciously making sure you are not going to be that person, you will become that person. And I became my mother in my marriage, the combativeness, the fighting, the arguing. So once we, went through the divorce process, I went through something emotionally. I felt like a failure. And so I was fighting
Mm,
for my marriage because I wanted to fight against what I told myself was not going to happen. But
mm,
the actions part, on me being a wife and what you do to try to stay married. I didn't know that part. I missed
Mm.
all the other steps on having a successful marriage,
Relationship, yeah.
in a relationship, that I just skipped right to, oh, I got to fight for this marriage. But what are you fighting for? How are you correcting it? And is this really what you want?
Mm.
So, that's really, that was the part.
It's interesting you mentioned about obviously, realizing that, you becoming like your mother in the marriage, and it's interesting that we do take those same kind of routes, that when you have those revelational moments where you're like, oh damn, I'm becoming like them. The
Hmm.
very, because you do make a pact to yourself. Well, I think most of us do make a pact to ourselves if we felt like we didn't get something, right? If we didn't get a lot of love emotionally, physically, if we didn't get that kind of love from our parents, we make these kind of these vows to ourselves that, hey,
Right.
when I get older, I am going to do things differently. I'm going to come brand new. I'm not going to do what they did.
Yeah.
And it's a funny moment when you do realize you're repeating some of the behaviors that they're exhibiting. When you came to that realization, what was that like when you came to that realization? Oh my God, I'm actually behaving like my mom. Like, what was that like for you?
I really didn't realize it until my second relationship failed. That's when I was like, okay. Because before, one, I was young, and two, I was so busy licking my wounds from him cheating. That was the highlight of what I thought our marriage ended. I didn't start to evaluate myself and realize that, hey, I had a lot to do with that divorce until later on in life, when I had to kind of look within myself. Um, but that didn't happen right away. So once, my engagement and the infidelity happened with that, and the way I was in that relationship, which was probably worse, I realized, okay. And my dad is actually the one who told me, you are not your mother. And that's when it hit me. I had like a breakdown, because I was, I went through a really dark place, when my engagement didn't fell through. I called off my engagement, which was very difficult, but I needed to do it because it was just going to be another failed marriage. So when that happened, I was on the phone with my dad, and my father is like my rock. So I talked to my dad about everything. He is, um I can't even explain how much this man means to me, but um, he has picked me up on several occasions and have dusted me off. So this is one of those pick me up and dust me off. But I always tell him this. I'm like, you were the turning point of who I was going to be as a woman, when he had that conversation with me. And I was like, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I get this right? And he is like, one, you're young, so stop beating yourself up so much. And he was like, two, you're not your mother and you're not marrying your father. He was like, you are who you are. So, whatever type of woman you want to be, you can exude that. Whoever you admire, like, say it to yourself until you believe it. Once he told me that, I was like, is it really that simple? And once that happened, I started to speak, truth to myself, which was the opposite of what I thought about myself. Because again, I had low self esteem. So I had to tell myself every day, you're beautiful, you're kind, you're soft, you're feminine, you're a great woman, you're a catch. And once I started to say those things every single day, you're a woman of God, like saying things that I admire about women, and also creating those actions with what I admire, that's when I started to make a turnaround on what type of woman I truly want to be. And it tapped into my spirituality more so. Once I started to have a full relationship with God and really depend upon him, that's when, I started to strengthen my mind and my spirit, because that's where it starts with. A lot of people they'll go work out, they'll get plastic surgery, you'll look beautiful on exterior. But if you don't get that interior together, if you don't get that mind and that spirit together, you're still a hot mess. I don't care how pretty you are. you know? So I wanted to work on my interior and my mind first before anything. And that was after, that was after my engagement fell through. And I was
Mm,
like, listen, obviously it's some of me. Even though I'm pointing my finger to them, it's got to be some of me. And it
mm.
was, yeah.
I, that's a key moment too. Accountability for the role that we play in these scenarios, because it can be very easy to put the blame on the party who has offended, and rightly so. The person has
Mhm.
offended, and therefore there's a weight that's upon them.
Yeah.
But these situations are symbiotic. They are relational, and so even with cheating, it may feel like, oh, the person cheated on me,
Hmm.
but there is something to also grasp from that situation, that scenario. I remember when I got cheated on eventually, because I cheated first. But I remember when I got cheated on, not in that relationship, I cheated another time, but and I remember looking back, and I was out in the moment. I was just like, "Yo, what are you learning in this situation?" And I realized, one, I ignored signs in the very beginning that this person had this tendency that they could do this,
Yep.
and two, actually, in the process of before they got to that point, I actually saw signs that I was also not trying to address because I
Yeah.
wanted to hide my head in the sand.
Yeah.
So, and when I eventually did have a conversation with the person about why they did what they did, I started to realize, okay, there are things that I could have worked on that could have been better. It might not have never stopped you doing what you're doing, but it does mean that I can refine myself and be better as well. So I guess for you, obviously, as well, like, when you put that accountability on yourself to
Mm-hmm.
say there are actions that I could undertake.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about how that freed you, maybe, or how, or whether it did. I don't know. Did it free you? Did it help you see relationships in a different format, different light? Take us a little bit deeper into that kind of thought process, taking accountability.
When I took accountability,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like I mean, it was a hard pill to swallow because no one. It's hard to see yourself in an imperfect light,
Mm,
especially people who look at themselves a certain way. I was one of them people who deflected, blame it on the next person. Oh, that's you. But honestly, once you start to see, once you make a conscious choice to try to work on yourself on it every day, you take that pressure off of yourself. Like, this is going to be an ongoing thing of me growing and learning as I go throughout my life. So, I'm not, it was freeing, but it was very hard to see. I had to make some phone calls and apologize a couple of times, to people who I did hurt, and was not self-aware enough to know that I did that. But honestly, like, I'm still learning as I'm growing. Every year, every day, like, it's a different mindset, as long as you continue to tap within yourself. So, with my marriage, and I was a hot mess in that relationship, in my engagement, like, I brought the heartache that I had from my marriage into my engagement. And I didn't learn from my marriage. I was running away from that. So I never went to therapy or any of that once my divorce happened. Once I divorced and I was free, I got into my apartment. I started going out with the girls, I started partying, started doing my thing. And I started dating pretty quickly. And probably like a year and a half later, I met my ex fiance. And we after our first date, we were together every single day, moving really fast, moved in together. Like, it was like this continuous pattern where I skipped the steps on building a friendship and dating, where as my adulthood, as I've gotten older, I'm just now learning how to date. I'm just now knowing that this is a slow moving process of really getting to know someone. That took me a while to know that, because when I first moved to DC, I was like, okay, so what are we doing after like a couple of months? What are we doing? Are we moving? Like, where are we going? Where's this relationship going? They're like, pump your damn brakes. I don't even know you, sis. But I was so used to being in a relationship, and those relationships moving fast, I had to program myself and learn how to actually date, and that this is a slow moving process. And that is the mistake that I kept making, was I would move fast in my relationships. I would, it was a love bombing, moving fast. We're going to move in together. We're in love, all this stuff without really getting to know the person and being their friend first. So now it's like I still have to consciously, because me, I love love. I'm a caring person. I'm just a nice person in general. So I have to like hold myself back and protect myself as well. So I won't get taken advantage of. And so I won't fall back into those patterns of what I'm used to doing, what I did for years was be in a relationship very quickly and connect myself with someone that I don't know is worthy of connecting to me, you know? Because I feel like I'm a catch, doggone it. But I had to learn this. So I had to get to the mindset of what can you do for me in my life? Because I know what my worth is finally.
Mm.
But what is your worth? Why should I could bring you on to this beautiful life that I have? And you raggedy. No. I work too doggone hard.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm definitely with you on the self, love and self valuing yourself. Well, valuing yourself basically as
Yeah.
well. And that sometimes a good heartbreak will take you there. Okay, a
Yes.
good heartbreak sometimes will take you to the place where you realize I need to be here. I need to see that the parts of me that I try to ignore because it's not helping me grow. Right. So as you were talking about having that value, I had a heartbreak and the heartbreak opened my eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, that whoa, I actually didn't value myself like I thought I did. I thought I had a higher self-esteem, but when I realized what I was taking, nah, my
Mm-hmm.
self-esteem wasn't that great. So I wanted to kind of get a
Garbage.
bit of an idea of your self-love journey because you said a little bit earlier on how you had to kind of speak to yourself and
Yeah.
tell yourself these things. What was the journey like in terms of like getting to that place of valuing yourself?
Oh God. First of all, I've surrounded myself by amazing women
Mm,
who spoke life into me. Um, honestly, when I started to do the self-healing, because it started off with therapy first.
mm,
Um, and then through therapy, I connected with like-minded women who and people who were very positive in my life. As I started surrounding myself with people who are positive, who are inspiring, um, I noticed that that was a missing piece of the pie in my family. Like my family was close, but we did not necessarily speak life into each other. We weren't necessarily because we were so busy living our own lives that I realized that I was neglecting that part of me. That part of me needed to be healed. So I started working on my family relationships. I started working on my relationship with my mother because I did not realize how broken that was. I had to do a lot of forgiving. So once I started working on my foundation, which was my family, that created a new strength within me that helped for me to love myself even more because of where I came from started loving themselves even more. So we have like a family group chat. I make a cautious effort to continue having positive relationships with my family. We have a blended family. So when my parents broke up, my siblings from my dad's first marriage, I pretty much grew up with them. But when they broke up, it was our responsibility to continue to stay connected because my parents didn't have a good relationship once they went through their divorce. That felt I didn't realize how much of a void that felt until I started building a relationship with my sister. And my sister is the one who I do the podcast with. She's the one that from my dad's first marriage. So when we became adults, we started to create our own bond. And once that started, then my other siblings and we started to create our own bond. So I really had to work on that part of my life in order for me to finally be able to move forward and be able to heal within myself and have these new relationships. I had to work on my broken relationships from my family. And even with my siblings, there was a lot of broken relationships with my sisters. Like my sister, we're tight as thieves now, but we could not get along for the life of me. It was because of generational curses. Like my mom and her siblings, my dad and his siblings, all we saw them do was argue and fight. They used to argue all the time. You know, my dad and his brother would argue all the time. My mom and her sister, they'd be arguing all the time. So that's what we saw. So when we became adults, we vowed to not have that type of relationship. So me and my sisters, we're extremely close. Me and my brother, like me and my siblings, we are tight. But we created that on our own. And that really helped to build a new foundation that I did not realize I needed for me to feel stronger as a woman. It's a lot. Like once your family has your back and you've kind of built that foundation with them and have built a better relationship with them, it does create an inner strength that you didn't know that you had or that you needed when you know that they have your back. So if I feel lonely, if I feel anything, I can call my sisters, and I have multiple sisters I can call. I can call my mom, I can call my dad. And that is a good feeling to have, to know that you have your family there. So that really was the first part that I worked on. And then I started to work on my exterior relationships outside of my family, including myself at the same time. I started new activities. Like I just had to like push myself out there. You have to get uncomfortable to get to that point of your life where you really want to be at. It's not easy. Like I told you, I moved to DC and I didn't know nobody. I knew one person when I moved here, and she moved to Africa 3 weeks later. So I literally moved somewhere blindly, never visited DC, didn't know why I was supposed to be here. It was literally a leap of faith. And God was like, this is where you need to be at. And it has been a thrill here. I've met some amazing people. I feel like I've grown into a better woman. And it's just been all positive, you know? Except for my love life. Still ain't right. God dang it. We're going to get it together though.
No, I'm hearing you. You know, hearing you. I'm hearing you. Okay, so self-love journey, family first, dealing with them first, and then going outside to external relationships as well. I definitely second
Mm,
that in terms of
mm,
growth and how to self-love. So I appreciate you sharing those tips as well.
yeah.
You know, you kind of shared. Okay, so I don't know how this plays into it. You did kind of share, obviously, part of your relationship that you had in the past, as you were saying. I think it was through your marriage.
Mhm.
Um, you mentioned about some turbulence in there. You know,
Mhm.
in that time of the marriage, and you spoke about how even you got one day you came home and the locks were changed.
Yes. Let me tell you, that relationship was a hot mess. I mean, it was, there was love there, but it was one of those, you know how you see those young relationships on movies or whatever, and it just seems like it's a whirlwind where they're fighting, they love each other, but they fighting. It was just a whirlwind of a relationship. And honestly, one of the things, I had an aha moment today when I was thinking about my
Okay.
conversation with you. Um, that I never, and this was aha moment was after you talked to Courtney, and Courtney was talking about how she didn't feel protected, or, you know,
Mm,
like she's always, you were like, who protects you? And she said, no one. I have never been in a relationship where I actually felt protected by my man, by
mm,
my husband. And one of the things that stuck out to me, I used to do club promotions back in my 20s. So me and my ex-husband, we did it together. So I was in college. That was like how I made my money. And I remember I was working with a sports agent, and like the Texans football players were there, and it was like this hot club or whatever. So I'm standing there and I'm talking to one of the sponsors, and I feel this splash behind me. And it was like someone spit on me. And I turned around, and it was like this huge football player. And I don't know what he was going through, but he was looking for a fight from a female. And I was like a firecracker back then. I was like, I know your ass and not just spit on me. I don't care how tall he was. I'm like in his face. I'm like, you cannot spit on me. How dare you? And he's like, F you, just talking real reckless. Now, my ex-husband was right there. Ask me, did he step in? He did not do anything. And it was so bad, like, because they pulled the guy away, the cops did, and, you know, they pulled him away and they had a talk with him. They didn't kick him out right away because he was a football player. So they had a talk with him. And then they're like apologizing to me because I was part of the promotional team. They're like, you know, sorry, Keri, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And I'm looking at my ex-husband like, really? You not even going? So I just blew it off. The guy comes back and he's like, I had to bust your effing face in, again. Like, I did nothing because he said that I thought I was all that because I wasn't paying any attention to him. I had a whole wedding ring on. I'm just trying to work. But I guess he was used to women coming to him and he felt some type of way. I don't know. I don't care. But I remember the cop pulling my ex-husband, it was a black man, pulled my ex-husband to the side and he was like, you always protect yours. He's like, why you didn't step up for her at all? And he was like, come on, man, like you're supposed to be protecting your wife. He's had no words. So from that point on, I lost respect for him because I was like, okay, so I have to protect myself. Like you're not protecting me. And even with, you know, my ex-fiance, I felt more protected by him, but I still didn't feel protected by him. You know, I feel like that's very important for women. That's something that's extremely important for me now. It is a requirement. Like I want a protector. I want a provider. Like I don't want you to be my father, but I want a protector. I need to feel like you have my back. If a man's going to step up to me, I don't even have to say a word. You're going to step right in front and you got it. You know what I mean? And that is not I never had that experience with any man that I was in a relationship with, you know? So I understand when Courtney said she provides for herself. She's a protector of herself because that's honestly, I feel like that's how a lot of Black women feel. You know, we feel like we have to protect ourselves because who is protecting us? No one is protecting us. We need that from our Black men. I need y'all to correct that. I need you to talk to your brothers, please. Thank you.
I'll gather them. Don't worry. I'll go and grab them. Man, that's a such a that's a situation right there. I mean, I'm just trying to imagine that situation in terms of, you know, the football player, you know, your partner kind of. So he didn't say anything and he didn't get involved, basically.
He did not get involved. He did not say anything. He was
away.
worried about his face versus mine. Yeah, I was more of like my masculine energy came out of that in that point more than his, you know. And at that point, I should have just. There were so many red flags before I got married. Now that I know better, like I absolutely should not have married him. But I was strictly basing it off of feelings and history. So, you know, and also me and him struggled together. And there's something about when you struggle with someone. It's like true. A bond you build, you know. Yeah. We bought our first house together. We went from nothing to having a very nice 2-story home or 3-story home in Houston. You know, we built our lives, we built our credit, we did all that stuff together. But, you know, he still was not like the basics of being my man, my husband. Nah, it wasn't there. It was like a partnership. It turned into a business partnership. Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
It was more about survival. It was more about day-to-day living, you know, making sure we have the basics. We really did not tap into making sure both of us were good emotionally from each other. You know, I was young, but what I know now is you can't just marry off of love. I'm sorry, that's not enough. I don't give a damn how you feel about a person. You cannot just marry off of love. There's so many layers and steps to having a successful relationship and a marriage. You literally have to understand that you have a whole nother human being that you're living life with. You can't just ignore them and just be like, oh, fend for yourself. And that's really how my relationships were. It was like we were fending for ourselves and we come together, pay the bills, do what we needed to do. But as far as tapping into each other emotionally, inspiring each other, uplifting each other, I didn't know what that looked like, and neither did he. He came from a broken home as well. So his father has several children outside of his marriage. You know, several children. He saw his mother suffer with infidelity, and she
Okay.
stayed. And she stayed because of what he provided for her.
Yeah.
So she stayed for.
Okay.
So for him, he was so focused on, let me get my finances together and be a provider, that the other parts of being a good husband, he didn't even know what that looked like. So it's just, again, two broken people coming together, not knowing the ingredients to having a successful relationship, you know? I think that, honestly, my takeaway, especially with Black people in the Black community, we have to reprogram our minds of what a successful relationship looks like, because we all have been in this mindset based on our grandparents and our parents on surviving. We have to survive. We need to, financially do this. We need to, fend for our kids. Where I feel like us as a community, we really didn't have the luxury or the privilege to tap into the love part, and to
Mm.
making sure we're good emotionally. It was like, okay, we got to take care of these kids. We got to do this. We got to stay alive. You got to make sure you stay out of jail. We got to take care of these babies. You know what I mean? Like, it's a
Yep.
lot of pressure to
Survival
keep
mode.
on yourself as Black people. But now that we've evolved, and we're doing better as a race, I do feel like we need to give each other a little bit of grace in our relationships, and we have to reprogram our minds
Anything.
on what that looks like, what a healthy relationship looks like. Because how many have you actually seen, like an actual healthy marriage? How many have you seen? Black people. You scratching your head? Yeah, I had to scratch my head too and think about that.
Yeah. Maybe one. Uh, yeah, probably one.
One,
If that. If that.
if that. Same.
Mm. Yeah.
One. One in
Mm.
my 38 years, I've seen a Black marriage or relationships that I inspire to be like, you know?
Mm.
And that is something I mean, because I talk to Black men all the time, and they tell me the frustrations that they have with Black women. And I talk to Black women all the time, and they tell me the frustrations that they have with Black men. And I understand it on both sides. I think that there's a lot that we need to do as a race to try to focus on having these successful relationships. It's getting more difficult because it's easy for us to, like, connect with everybody.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
well, let me get
Hmm.
let me sip on this. How y'all doing out there? Hey,
I see them
y'all.
interacting. I see them interacting. They're
I
about
see
the
I
chat.
see the comments coming through. I
There's a
hope
lot of
y'all aren't
comments
bored.
there. No, they're not. They're not. They're involved.
Okay.
Yeah, no, no. You know what? You're speaking obviously true, and I think obviously maybe the male perspective, like you said, I think for some of us males, the financial piece seems to be, well, financial piece, whether you legal or illegal, seems to be the piece that men want to try and get right. It's like
Mhm.
that is our badge of masculinity. It is the one area. If we've got money, there's nothing you
Mhm.
can say that can hurt us after that. You know what I mean? Yeah, you might say one or two things, but I've got money, so whatever you say, I've done my job. Like, do you know what I mean? And
Very true.
we find it difficult, especially if we're coming from broken homes, whether you had two parents or not, it still can be broken in the sense of the emotional care that was given. You as a male can get to a point where you do the financial piece, but don't know how to do the emotional piece, right? Because we
Right.
get taught from young how to apply your skills, how to, read, write, and do those kind of things. It's all training us to be employees, employers,
Mhm.
business owners, etc., right? Some of us go into that as well, but we don't get taught how to deal with emotions, how to process our emotions, how to deal with situations, right? We have PE for sports, we have English for communications in terms of how to write and to read.
Mhm.
We have maths and stuff like that, but we don't have necessarily a subject course matter that says, hey, the most important thing you're going to ever have in life is a relationship. And I ain't just
Mhm.
talking about relationship in terms of romantic, but in general. Here's a
Yeah.
course on how to have better relationships. We never get given that. And I honestly think that our governments do this on purpose. I just honestly think that sometimes they do it on purpose. Like they don't
Come
want
on
us to
now,
have.
let's not talk about the history.
Mm,
We've been stripped from our families since slavery.
yeah.
It's
Mm,
a setup. We weren't set up that way. They
mm,
stripped the fathers from they stripped the children. Like it's been an ongoing struggle for Black families to stay together.
yeah.
And that's why I really want us as a race to take this seriously and try to figure out what we can do so we can have our Black families and stay together. We're fighting against so much. Our men getting killed, killing each other, incarceration, all types of things that, we've been fighting since slavery, you
Mm,
know? Um, it's something that I'm very passionate about. And that is why I like having these talks, because if we can plug this knowledge into a few of our people and they can share it with more of our people, we can start really realizing the importance of us unifying together to have families and successfully have them, and knowing how to successfully have it, you know, and not have this resentment that we have against each other. It was
yeah.
kind of, obvious on Ready to Love. I enjoyed the process, but it was difficult. It was very
Mm,
difficult because I do think that there is a lot of healing that needs to be done. I do
done.
think that
Yep.
there's a lot of mindsets that people don't understand where it starts, the basics of building a relationship and building a friendship. With a process like that where you have to speed up and do everything very quickly, it's hard to successfully build something like that. So I enjoyed getting to know everyone, but
Mm,
when I left, I didn't know nobody. I can't tell you anything. I couldn't tell you anything once I left that process. It was only a few weeks. But I didn't really know anyone. And I think that what I do love and what I did love was seeing Black people coming together who are like-minded, who wanted love. I
mm,
still think that we need to know the basics of getting there. And it's not only about money and
no.
having your
Yeah.
titties out.
Mm,
It's not all about that. It's so much more to it. It can be so beautiful, but we just, as a race, we need to figure this out. I still don't know. I'm like, I don't know the perfect ingredient to doing it. I know what I needed to do to correct myself as a woman. And I still am working on me on a daily basis. I have my points where I fall. I have my points where I'm
of
just like,
course.
I probably shouldn't have done that, or, way I carry myself or whatever. But I'm very mindful of it. And I want to make the corrections. I want to continue to grow. And I think that us as Black women and Black men, we need to be mindful of that if we want to have, like, a healthy, successful relationship. That is what I want. I don't want just a man. I want it to be good.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that, and you're right. It's a process that begins at the foot. It doesn't start when you're in the relationship. It starts before then.
Mhm.
And the lessons you learn are so important going into a relationship because they help guide you, navigate you along that journey of a relationship, help you either to get out if it's not working, if it's not beneficial and it's going to go down the drain, or to stay in it a little bit longer if you need to fight a little bit more during the relationship. I mean, what information you have from before you start that relationship is what's going to help determine oftentimes the outcome of that relationship, because what you know is often what you actually end up doing. So if you
Yeah.
don't have that information, you're going to be literally um going on kind of like going on what you think is what is a relationship, and how it should work and how it should flourish. And I think that's where a lot of people are. People just don't know how to be in a relationship. Not everyone is self-reflective, which is why we
Right.
wanted to have the second conversation, because what you realize is a lot of people are not able to do self-reflection, and self-reflection is one of the most critical pieces if you want to improve you,
Right.
because you need to be able to look within yourself and look at some of the actions and determine where some of those actions are coming from and what's triggering those particular movements at that particular time. Without the self-reflection piece, it becomes a very long and difficult process to be able to analyze your own behavior and say, hey,
Mhm.
actually, this is what I want to, this is how I want to shape my life. This is where I want to
Mhm.
go. This is what I want to do. So you're right. It's more than money.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
is a learning curve. Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Mm,
And it's something that can be corrected. You just have to cautiously work on it and dedicate your life to working on it on a daily basis. Like, I feel like once I remove the pressure off of myself
yeah.
on trying to please everybody and
Yeah.
try to be perfect, because ain't nobody perfect. Once I removed that pressure off of myself and, like I said, started to lean more into God, it really, life has been very pleasant. Even in those imperfect moments where one would panic, I quickly get up, dust myself off, and be like, okay, we're good. Let's keep it moving. So I just really, that's why I love having these discussions, because I really want people to understand my trials that I've been through, that I should have been in a corner rocking with a wine bottle. You know, I should have been bitter and angry and pissed off, because I have been kicked out of my house and sleeping on a
Mm,
futon, at my father's house, of everything I've built. I have called off an engagement where I had the church, the caterer, the bridesmaids' dresses, all of that ready to walk down the aisle, just to find out my fiance got a whole girlfriend that he's been with for a year and a half, who was not cute, by the way. Don't even let me go there. Just anyways, so had a whole girlfriend for a year and a half that she found me on Facebook and started telling me all this stuff while I was picking our caterer for our wedding. So I have been through some shit, okay, where one would find a reason to not smile. But what I was not going to do was let these things steal my joy, and realizing that life is extremely short and the only person that I have control of is me. So once
mm,
I took my focus off of everybody else and started looking within myself and evaluating me, what I could have done better, what I did wrong, instead of being like he cheated and he broke everything, and just making it seem like it's all him. I can't control him. He knows what he did. But for me, let me work on me so I can make sure whomever I end up in a relationship with or not, because there's no pressure on that either, that I'm going to still be good. I'm going to be healed. I'm going to be ready. You don't want to meet him and you still a hot mess.
come
Me,
on.
you know, me and my sister, we did a discussion about being marriage minded. And I told you about
Mm,
this on being already walking like you're a wife. Now, look,
oof,
I struggle in that area because
I
I'm
hear you.
like, I still walk like I'm single, but being mindful on carrying myself like one day, this is what I desire to have in life. So just being marriage minded and working on myself and making sure that I'm fully healed to whoever I meet, if whenever that comes, that I'm not trying to hurry up and run in therapy and make sure that I'm not get all this brokenness together. Work on you
Mm,
right now.
that's it.
There's nothing wrong with being single.
Nothing wrong with it apart from a lonely bed, but there's nothing wrong with
Mhm.
it. Hmm.
There's nothing wrong with being single. 38 single, no children. Many women will be like, I'm 38 and single and no children. No, I'm like, I am 38 and single and no children. And guess what? If I want to go to Africa next month, I can. you
You
know?
can follow me if you want. I'm going to Ghana next
I'm
year.
coming with you. That's why I'm so
You come with
jealous.
me? Oh, I got you, man.
There's nothing wrong with it. And I really want women to take this clock off their back. Like, I've removed the clock. Um, as far as motherhood, I would love to be a mother, but I don't have a husband right now. And I would like to, that's the form and family that I would like to have, is having a family with my husband. If that doesn't come, that doesn't come. I might be a mother in other ways. I can adopt. I'll be a stepmom. I'll be a dog mom. I'll be a plant mom, whatever it is. I know that that's going to get fulfilled in some type of way. But I really want my sisters to enjoy their singledom. Enjoy this process. Don't feel bad about yourself and work on yourself. So then when
That's the
you
key point.
do, yes, when you do find him and he finds you, that it can be healthy. It could be a healthy relationship. All that fighting and having to push through that toxicity that is still within you. I'm just saying. I'm saying.
Yeah, man. I mean, to be honest, I think you got you being single is always looked upon as a downside, and you know what, you just don't want to be desperate out here, man. If you're
Mm-mm.
desperate, the streets can easily catch you, and
Yeah.
you'll be thrown into a whirlwind of nonsense. You almost have to look at it as when you're in a relationship, suddenly you get offers from men and from women.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because you've turned off the desperation. When you're
Yeah.
not looking, suddenly all the people that said suddenly they like you now are seeing you. And it's because you're not so hungry for that situation.
Yeah.
I'm, as you're saying right now, I'm currently single, 30
Mhm.
single.
Okay.
Um, listen, okay, all right. Um, but I think it's probably one of the first times that I'm not focused on, so who am I gonna be with, and who am I
Right.
marrying, and who's gonna be my girl? Like, who do I need to be talking to right now? Like, my focus isn't that. Maybe because I have a different focus, I've switched it now to being about my craft and developing it and going where I feel like God is asking me to go.
Yeah.
But the focus is switched off from the relationship thing. And it takes, like you said, it takes this massive weight off your shoulder, because
Mhm.
then you can have authentic because I'll be honest, me and beautiful females, me and being friends, it's not gonna work,
It's not
just
gonna
because
work.
of the just because where I'm set up, you know what I'm saying, Kerry, I gotta keep you at a distance.
At least you know yourself.
Yes, exactly. Right. So, but I realize now I'm able to have a bit more authentic relationships with the
Mhm.
opposite sex, because my mind is not at, so is this the one? Is this the
Right.
one? Is this the one? My mind is just like, listen, I'm even focused on work. I've got work to be doing. If we have a
Mhm.
conversation, it's great, fantastic. If it goes further, okay, but that's not where my MO is. And I think that takes
Right.
the pressure off yourself, and actually that allows you to be able to actually be more observant as well. Because I think,
Yes.
like we were saying earlier on, some of our mistakes are through that hunger and that desperation that we want to be
Mhm.
loved and we want to give people love. And that can sometimes put us in places where we choose something that is not good for us,
Yeah.
you know?
It's very true. It's very true.
Mm,
You have to like once you remove that, it is very freeing. And you also you kind of date differently too, where you don't have like this pressure on are we boyfriend girlfriend yet? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Now, if I'm giving you access to my life, right? And we're getting to know each other. One of the things that's most important to me as I'm dating is what is your energy that you're bringing into my life? You know, I can't do the negativity. I can't do the drama.
same.
Before, I told you on our first interview, I was Captain Save a Negro. You
Come
know,
on.
I was so used to the toxicity that it was comforting for me. Like, oh, okay, you got drama. That doesn't scare me. We can figure this out. Now I'm like, nah. I also tap into how someone makes me feel, and there's nothing
Mm,
wrong with you saying, he don't make me feel very good. I don't think I want to continue doing this. And that's why I didn't really like how the show tried to pin me as being thirsty, because thirsty I am not. But, I am, again, I'm a communicator and I'm a conversationalist. So as I'm getting to know these guys and I'm trying to converse with them, I'm just trying to figure out what type of energy do you have going on? Should I look into this energy, continue to get to know you or not, So
mm.
I'm just like an energy person and I embrace good people, good energy. And as we're getting to know each other during the dating process. So and when you remove that, like you said, when you remove that pressure and that clock, it's just you're living. You start to live on a daily basis. It's fun. Dating becomes fun. It's not so serious and not so oh, where's this going? When I go on a date, I'm like, okay, God, why did you bring this person into my life for these few minutes, few hours, few months, few weeks? Like, how long is this season gonna last? And I get to know them on that level. So it's either going to be a short season or it can be a long one, or you're just going to be a friend, or it's not going to be romantic. But either way, we're on this date, we're going to have fun, and we're going to get to know each other. And you have my full attention. I want to get to know you as a person, who you are. And that's what makes it fun, because you're looking at this as a friendship that's developing that could potentially be something or not, you know? That's how people need to start dating. I had to do it that way because I was not doing it right.
Definitely hear you on that, man, in terms of looking at dating in that way and being more intentional with your dating as well, like, just being able to assess what you need, and having that to hand so that when you are making a decision, you are able to spot the criteria that that person has and see if
Yeah.
it actually matches what your list is,
Mm-hmm.
So,
Seriously.
so obviously, I know we spoke quite a bit about your experience.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're looking back at, for instance, now looking at Ready to Love episode 7.
Yeah.
You're kind of looking at it. You're seeing some of the connections that are being made.
Yes.
Give us a bit of your perspective of episode 7, what you kind of thought about the show and what happened on this episode.
I thought the friends dates were interesting, and I kind of feel bad for our fans and the audience who's looking on the show, because they're not able to see the connections that are being made on how it got to this point. It's just like, oh, y'all seeing one part and then it skips over to the friends date. So it's like, when the hell did we get here? So just to give y'all a little bit of perspective, there are dates that happen that doesn't necessarily get shown on the show because they just didn't have the airtime, or they're trying to put out a certain story or whatever. But these connections that happen usually are because they've been talking on the phone, or they had a one-on-one date, or they might be hanging out outside the show. There's different things that happen as these relationships develop. So let me just give y'all that perspective. I thought that Mumin's date, where Walter and Dante both came in, I feel like she didn't really have a chance. Like, it just made it like an uncomfortable type of situation, for the guys. Like, they didn't know each other were going to be there. So it's just like, well, what the hell? How are they supposed to comfortably be able to talk with the friend when they're kind of competing? I guess they tried to make it like a competition thing.
Don't know why they do
that. And then Mr. Popularity, Phil. It's not surprising that so many women wanted him to meet their friends, because Phil is an easy guy to talk to. He's easy to talk to. He builds relationships easily. He's good looking. So that didn't surprise me that he had those dates. And I'm trying to go down the list. I really like Frank and Sydney's date. I feel like they're already familiar with each other, and you can tell. They know
Way
each other
familiar.
outside. Yeah. And they had their little juicy kiss. It felt like two juicy lips. They kissed each other. I was like, all right. She looked cute in her pink,
She don't really say. She was like, oh, what did she say? She said about Frank that she's always, I think she said she's always liked him. And then she said, I think that Frank's liked me as well. So, this is his chance, kind of thing. And I said, so sis, you've been waiting in the wings to get your chance.
Waiting in the wings for Frank. Okay. Well,
no, carry on.
Okay, it might be a little something there. I mean, we saw the kiss. So something's there.
Kiss and hands.
Kiss and hands. Okay, kiss and hands. I felt bad for Sean, and
he got roasted.
Yeah, he got roasted pretty bad, and I don't think he really expected that. I think he felt attacked. I mean, it wasn't anything wrong, because I mean, if your friends are going to go hard for you, they're going to go hard. They're going to come with the questions. I feel like she had a lot of friends, so like 4 or 5 people coming at you all at once. and you have good intentions, like I feel like that you know that was a little hard to look at. I cringed a little bit for poor Sean, because Sean is actually, he's a really sweet guy. He's very witty. I feel like he's easy on the eyes, you know. I didn't think he got a fair chance. And I think it's harder from when a man comes in later on than when a woman comes in later on. So I feel like men will embrace the woman easier than the woman will embrace a guy coming in afterwards, you know. So um I did not care for the deliberation scene at all.
What part of the deliberation scene?
The attitudes on the deliberation scene, I did not like that. I
Whose
did
attitude on the deliberation scene?
Zadia's attitude on the deliberation scene, I did not like that. I didn't.
Why didn't you like her behavior and attitude on the deliberation?
Because I feel like it was unnecessary. Because you know, I'm a woman's woman. If y'all don't know this by now, I love seeing sisters giving each other love. I feel like in this process, you can easily, if you are not necessarily a healthy competitive person, you can become an ugly competitive person. And you have to check yourself on that, because everybody is wanting to make these connections. Everybody is there for the same thing. So I don't like the talking down to anyone, speaking ill, you know, the belittling tones. I don't like that. I don't like that. And I just felt like there was she had a chip on her shoulders, you know. And I think Zadia is a very pretty girl, you know, but I think
Very.
yes, she's very beautiful. I think that she doesn't need to be that way. Like she really don't. I don't know why that one comment on them saying we need to shrink it in and them
Became a
having,
problem.
yeah, it became such like a moment of bringing out the claws. Um, you know, I know I talked to the girls, and to my understanding, I know a lot of people are like, something had to happen in the background for that to have started. Not really. Just telling you that, not really. And Aisha, Aisha is actually one of the most women on the show. She is extremely like a positive person. She don't come for you unless you come for her. You know, and she's from the Bronx, and y'all see the tattoos and all that, but she is ooey gooey on the inside. She's such a sweet, kind person. Um, so yeah, I mean, when I saw the ugliness and it was very mean girl like to me, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. And I hope it does not continue on. If it does, you know, I just hope that people look at themselves during this process and learn from it, you know. But mm-mm, mm-mm.
No, I'm definitely hearing you on that. I mean, we all watched the scene, and yeah, we were all thinking, why did Zadie just pop off Sydney? You know, especially when Sydney's response wasn't even anywhere near the energy that Zadie was given. You know, I was just like, sis, what are we doing here? Why are we getting vexed at Sydney? Why is Sydney suddenly your target of choice? You know, and it's that I was hoping that there was something that happened behind the scenes, and there was something that happened, because you know that level of energy to give to somebody says more about her than it does about anything else, because you were coming at, you know, Sydney sideways, right?
Yeah,
It wasn't even Sydney who made the original first comment, like so
right. And
all she said was,
Sydney's very sweet,
I'm new.
right?
Go for it. Sorry, yeah,
And
you were saying.
no, Sydney is a very sweet. She's a sweetheart. Like she is. I have never had a odd moment with Sydney, even though I didn't continue on the show, but I've developed my relationships. As y'all see, if y'all follow us on IG, we hang out with each other. We know each other. A lot of us like each other. And Sydney has never been rude or disrespectful or anything like that. But I can't say that for everybody. I've had firsthand experience on being disrespected, and I take that very seriously as a grown ass woman. Like, we too grown. This is supposed to be fun. We're hoping to find love. It's supposed to be a lighthearted experience. Yes, it's difficult. Emotions can be out there, but you don't see the men acting like that. You don't see them fighting and arguing and disrespecting each other. And I don't understand why women, when it comes to men, and it becoming a competitive type thing, we have to attack each other. There's no need for all that. I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that behavior at all.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, hopefully we can get her on here and ask a real direct question as to why she felt the need to go off like that. Do you know what I mean? But I think most of us as an audience kind of saw Zadia from her actual opening credits when she gave her examples, and I think that already set the tone for us. Like, but the attitude, and then when she spoke to Naeem, and said about the gift situation and people was like, we were already turned off. So then and then obviously then the situation with Camille when they did what they did to Sean, it was just like, okay, girl, 1, 2, 3, we're seeing a pattern of behavior, baby. I'm gonna need you to chill because it's getting a bit much now. You're on your fourth one now.
Exactly. Yeah, it doesn't have to be that way, and I don't like seeing that, especially. DC, we're supposed to be a representative of Chocolate City, Black love. These are supposed to be educated, classy, quality Black folk. And I don't like seeing that. I really do not like seeing women tearing down each other and having these attitudes for no reason. Now, if you had a reason or somebody disrespected you and you trying to check them, you can even check someone in a classy way. I've checked several folks without having to get down and dirty. It doesn't have to be just, malicious and rude. So I just didn't, that didn't sit well for me. And I hope that, again, like, she learns from this and does not continue to have that attitude, because I don't deal with it. I'm too grown. I don't deal with stuff like that. And as I'm seeing things happening, I know that God was protecting me because I'm a reformed thug. Just letting you know this.
Well, not you too.
Now. I'm tapping into my feminine energy. But there are triggers, so I know the Lord was like, you know what? We're going to go ahead and pull you out of this. This is not the energy that you really are wanting, not for my child. So as I'm seeing some of this disrespect, I'm really big on respect because I'm so respectful. When someone's just being disrespectful for no reason, that I take that very personally, because I know you don't have to be that way.
Very true. You don't. It doesn't take much to be kind.
It doesn't. It takes less energy to be kind and more energy to be an asshole.
What did you think of Phil's connections then? Shiloh, Aisha, Tasia.
Of what is it? Their connections?
What did you think about their connections? Because obviously Phil, very cleverly, very wisely said, one of my strongest connections. He never said the strongest connection. He said one of my strongest connections. One of my strongest connections. Oh, she's up there. He smartly played it off. He smartly played it off, and I have to commend him. Yeah, because he didn't give nobody the room to be able to say, but you say it. You know what I'm saying? So I want to get your perspective or your thoughts on Philo, in the cut.
Phil he is a likable guy. Like, what y'all see on TV is literally who Phil is. He's super easygoing. But I think what Phil's weakness is he is, Phil's definitely an empath, but he also doesn't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Like, he's very much like, even if someone from the cast isn't getting along, Phil's calling people, what's going on? He's like the mayor of the cast, like, want everybody to kind of get along and be good with each other. So I think that is a good and a bad thing in this journey, because you can't play Mr. Nice Guy with everybody. So I think that I think he does have connections with these women, but you absolutely have a stronger connection. You know who your top person is.
Of course.
So I think that he doesn't say it. Like he said, he's been mindful on not saying who his number one is on purpose. I don't think there's anything wrong with him still trying to fill the room out and figure out who it is. But I do want Phil to like make it about himself for a little bit and figure out who he's connecting with and who he sees as wifey or girlfriend or whatever. But yeah, I look forward to seeing as the process goes on to see who he's going to be connecting with the most. I think eventually he'll come to that point. I hope.
Well, I think his wording did tell us who he's feeling more. It's Shiloh. Because his wording for Shiloh's was obviously, yes, she's one of my top, something strong, something. He said something, and I said, okay, so Shiloh's pretty much his number one kind of thing, which we've kind of known anyway. But he's, I mean, does he? So that was a conversation that was happening on the show about people shrinking their options now. Does he have to shrink the options? Do they have to? Not even just him. Do they have to shrink the options really? Do they have to really at this point? Should we be shrinking our options? I mean,
I think they need to. So when they say shrink your options, it's kind of like you need to kind of hone in on who you're connecting the most with and start building on that. Because if you keep juggling, it kind of is kind of what was Kyra was kind of having a struggle with in last season when she couldn't figure out if she wanted Jason or AJ. So, and then it kind of burned her at the end because they kind of had to start moving on because she couldn't necessarily make a confirmed decision. So I think once when it's this late in the game and you're having the friends meet, I think you're going to have to like at least have the two or whomever, and you start kind of putting all your energy into that person to see if you are really both are ready to love and start digging in a little bit deeper, because it's hard to really focus on one person when you still juggling multiple people. I mean, we know that in the dating world, if you dating 5 folks, you're going to continue dating 5 people. You're not going to be able to focus on who you're really connecting with. So you just kind of have to do it.
No, definitely.
It's more difficult for men to do that than women. Honestly.
I think Phil's just a nice guy.
Phil's a nice guy. He is.
A nice guy. Doesn't want to disappoint anybody.
Exactly. Which is a gift and a curse, Yeah. Because you got with this situation, you're gonna have to be a little bit more selfish, brother. We don't want to hurt nobody's feelings, but I mean, Tyrone did it. Shit, Tyrone was like, "Listen, I don't want your ass. I don't want your ass. I want you." Tyrone knew exactly what he wanted. I can respect that. I mean, the delivery wasn't perfect, but he knew what his ass wanted. And he said, "Let's go."
I'm with you on that. I mean, so what was your thoughts then around the Cornelius Camille situation? Because that was an interesting conversation. She don't want a nice guy.
You talking about Camille and Cornelius when he met the friends? Child, that was a lot of tea that came spilling out that conversation. Her friends was putting all her business out there. I would have had a personal phone call and like, did you really have to say all that? Like, did you really have to say all that? So I think what stuck out to me was when they said, when she revealed to them that Cornelius was waiting till he gets married, and her friends were like, "What?" Like their reaction was very extreme. Like, yeah, this is a joke. You definitely ain't trying to be with that. So that was interesting how they reacted to her revealing that he was waiting till he gets married, because she is saying she's all cool and she can do it. But based on her friend's reaction, they were just like, yeah. Hey, Sabrina, my baby's on here. I love Sabrina.
Hey, Sabrina, you can answer my question, Sabrina. You set up my brother Sean. We want to know, was it intentional, unintentional? The audience thinks you did it on purpose. Just going to be honest with you. And I kind of agree with them, but you can correct us, sis.
Wait a minute. Wait. You said,
wait a minute. It was a setup.
Oh, so Sabrina, he's asking you if you're.
We want to know, Sabrina. Yes. No. We want to know, Sabrina, why you set up our boy Sean.
What?
By omitting important information. Sabrina, we're going to need an answer in the chat. This time I won't use it for a video. So just pop it in the chat.
Emojis.
Okay, Sabrina, just pop it in the chat. I'm not gonna put it on the YouTube video this time, but we're gonna need you to say what happened to our brother Sean. It looks like you set him up. I'm just gonna be honest with you, sis. We look at the evidence, and the evidence is pointing to you being the perpetrator. You told a story with half truths in there. Sis,
What
you know the context of the story.
you mean?
There was a context to the story. There was a context to the story. There's a context to the story. We want to know. We want to know. There
You
was a
feel like
context to
she
the
set him
story.
up for failure with her friends?
Huh?
You feel like she set him up for failure with her friends?
Absolutely. It was a chessboard move. It is the most brilliant way to get rid of a character on the board without making it look like you. That is what gangsters do. Okay,
No,
when gangsters want to get rid of
let
the
her
younger people.
friends. She let her friends know what made her have a cause for pause, and she just told them, maybe have elaborate on that because this is what's making me give him a little bit of the side eye, which that's what friends should do. I probably, I might have probably would have said the same thing. Like, this is how I feel about this guy. This guy, I'm feeling him, but this gives me a little bit cause for pause. Now, it does make the friends judge a little bit because they're just kind of going off of what she tells them. But he could have fixed it, but his answers, didn't necessarily help.
I mean, his answers didn't necessarily help, but he was already on minus 100. Already on minus 100 because the question that the setup was, they already had it in their minds that this ain't a good dude. Because if I tell my friends, oh, basically we had a conversation, they said basically that he's not sure if she's not sure if she'll flip flop, in a few months' time, and that's what I tell my friends.
But that isn't. But if we're having a friends meet, right, and your friends are helping you pick who they think is best for their girl, they're gonna ask the hard questions. And if she says, "This is what gives me a cause for pause," because a comment is made, then yes, he got the attacking of a lifetime. Her friends are strong with the words. He couldn't handle it. No, I'm just playing. But I just think that. I think that her friends just had her back. To be honest with you, I probably.
Oh no, friends didn't do anything wrong. The friends didn't do anything wrong. They're the innocent party. We're saying that the information that was assimilated onto them was incorrectly passed on, like Chinese whispers.
So you think she shouldn't have told them?
No, she should have, but she should have told them the whole context.
You
the
don't think
context
she?
of the
But
conversation.
You only saw what the edits show. She might have told them the whole context.
It didn't look like that. Do you know what I mean? Because then he had to explain himself and say, actually, the conversation was about kids, which means they didn't know the conversation was about kids because he had to explain it. It was about kids.
I don't think. Okay, so you again.
Our brother was set up.
The edits.
Maybe she wanted to leave. Who knows?
The edits are going to show the hard part, like the parts of them going in on him. Sabrina is not ruthless like that. She actually is a very, very kind person. One of the kinder ones within the cast. So I know personally, from me knowing her, she's one of my favorites. Probably is my favorite. I know that she is not going to set people up to be sabotaged, but she's a very honest person. So she's a very upfront, honest, probably one of the most authentic people. So she probably, I'm sure the background story, she gave the good qualities and the not so good. I think she did it on both ends. I don't think she just said something about him. But what you see on TV is the friends going in on him, which I saw the same thing. Like if I was an audience member and I did not know Sabrina at all, I would probably say the same thing that you're saying. But because I know her, I guarantee you she did not purposely try to sabotage him. I'm like,
I want to know why he had playing cards in his pocket. The brother came to do come and play blackjack and realized he was the only person getting shot. There was no cards today. He couldn't play cards. The only card he could play was the fact that he was getting absolutely gunned down. So we wanted to know why that happened, because he was definitely not. They were definitely not given the full story there.
They did not give the full story. They don't give the full story. But even she said, you folks need to understand. You see what they want to show you. See, she's letting you know she was not trying to self-sabotage that man.
Yeah, it wasn't self-sabotage. It was sabotage.
She's not trying to sabotage that man. I don't believe that at all. Nope. But I do agree how it looked on TV. On TV, from audience member, it did look like it was a setup, but I know that is not what my boo did not do that. My boo did not do that.
Now, what I need Sean to clarify is what did he mean by pay a bill or two? And just because obviously people can take that the wrong way, and hey, the bill he might be paying might be a significant amount. We can't jump down. A bill or two, he might be paying a significant portion of the bill. So with that one bill, but
that one bill or two,
did.
y'all don't like that statement. Y'all did not like him saying a bill or two.
Statement didn't come across good. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's the way it came across.
Which bill you trying to pay? The cable bill, the electric bill, the mortgage?
That's the key question, isn't it? Maybe he wants to pay the mortgage. You know what I'm saying? That's why he's saying a bill or two. At least the brother's honest. He can't afford to pay your whole lifestyle. I mean, Keri, are you okay? Let's keep a buck. And
okay.
I don't judge. I don't judge.
If you do, I don't.
Are you looking for?
Go ahead with your question.
Are you looking for a man to pay all your bills, your telephone bill?
I'm not looking for him to do that. Like, I'm not looking for a man to take care of me, but I want a man to be able to take care of
me. What does that mean? That sounds lovely and philosophical.
It's not lovely. I want the option to be there. Like, I absolutely can take care of myself, but if he's coming into my life, I would love to have that option of him being able to be the full provider financially. I'm definitely not going to stray away from that. But honestly, I'm the type of woman that I like to be able to help. Like, I don't like just fully depending on anyone. But if the option is there, that does give you ease as a woman to know that your man got you. He's like, I got us. Like, if I ever say, babe, I want to start my own business. Can we do that? And he'll be like, yeah, I got us. You can focus on school, focus on getting your business focused. I would like to have those options. I think anyone would.
So if he makes enough to be able to do that, but it's not a fully prosperous living lifestyle, because listen, he, like our brother on the Married at First Sight said, I could pay all the bills, I just won't have anything left.
Is that what he said? I don't remember that. Is that what he said? I can pay all the bills I have. Brother, you don't need to be in no relationship yet.
But if you're paying all the bills, and in 21st century, it's quite it depends on where you are situated. This is also another thing as well. I know that especially America is quite vast compared to where I'm in the UK, whatever. But obviously to pay all the bills. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be going for this, by the way, ladies. You know me, I'm all about that hypergamy life because it plays in my favor. I ain't gonna lie to you. But like that I guess obviously to pay all the bills, one would have to earn a significant amount to be able to make sure the life is also prosperous. So not just taking care of all the bills, but being able to also allow you to be prosperous in that area. So like you're not paying all the bills and then it's like, well, I've paid all the bills, babe, and there's nothing left.
You're just gonna sit at home and eat ramen noodles.
Ramen noodles it is, babe, but at least all the bills are paid for.
I think, and that's where the partnership comes in. So I feel like this is where you have to have these conversations before you get married, before you even get to that serious part of the relationship, on what you want your partnership to look like when you get married. And the financial part, I feel, is extremely difficult for people to talk about because you want to say what sounds good, but you want to be realistic, right? So yes, I would like for my man to be able to, again, have that option of taking on the bills. However, if he wants to pay the household, the mortgage, the utilities, and I'm responsible for everything else. You know what I mean? Like he would, like if we want to do trips or if we want to do extracurricular things, then I would be the one to take that on while he takes on everything else. So I'm okay with that. I don't think that he should fully take care of me like I'm a child. Like that's not what I want. But I don't want him to be working himself ragged and stressing out where if one income falls, then we asked out. So while he's at work and our money is stacking, I'm going to be online learning how to invest this additional coins that we have. That's where the partnership works in, you know? Oh, babe, there's a new stock that's coming. If we put this much in 5 years, it's supposed to build to this. You have to have a partnership with your man. And I think that would make men feel better when they are being a provider, is when a woman is actually doing the other parts that will continue with elevating your life. You can't fully depend on his income. Like, even if she wants to, there are multiple ways that you can make income besides the 9 to 5 or whatever. Figure out those ways. If you want to stay at home, help your man figure that out, you know? So
what if you're not built for that? I remember I said this to someone, said this to me. I know my dad said this to me. So about my name, innit? So my name, most of the people who carry this name often turn out to be rich. And I said, okay, so what about other people? He said, well, the favor is on that name. I can't do it for everybody else, right? He talked about favor, having favor. Like, he named me a certain name. So when you get named that name, the people who have that name normally become rich. And I was like, okay, well then what about other people who haven't got the name? Like, well, I've gone for them. And you know, it's, what if, like, for instance, I know that we always say, and it's not even to you, this is just general because we're having a conversation. What if, you know, because it's always said that, okay, they can always do something extracurricular and earn extra money. What if they don't have that ability? We always assume that everyone's got that ability, but if someone's not opening the door, the other person can't walk through it. Some people are meant to be where they're meant to be, the level that they're at.
Well, that's when you need to know what you're marrying. You have to know, y'all have to, these are important conversations that you have to have before you get married. Like, I want me and my husband to continue to not get at a comfortable state. Like, I want he and I to always be idealistic on elevating our life. Not to the point of Donald Trump rich or whatever, but whatever it is that we desire to have, the life that we desire, you know, and getting to that point and knowing and having a plan to get to that point together as partners, you know. I think, and that's why you have to know who you're marrying. If you're one of those people and he's one of those people who's good with just being like, I'm good with us renting an apartment and having one car, I'm happy with that. And she's like, I'm happy with that too. Well, that's y'all. But I if my man comes to me and says that, then we can't get married, because I'm not good with that. Like, I want us to be able to elevate our life, you know. That's a conversation you're gonna have before you get married. There's nothing wrong if that's what you want with your life, but you have to make sure that both people are on that same level, because somebody's gonna get frustrated if you're not.
That's true.
You know, just saying.
That's true. I hear that. Interesting.
Oh, and Sabrina said she can't wait to talk to you.
I know she's got a spill of secrets. She's got to let us know all the things that have been happening.
To talk to you. She can't wait. Let me tell you something. I can't wait for that interview, because Sabrina, she's real. Okay. She gonna tell you.
She talks Korean to me. Hopefully she'll talk some Korean to me.
I'm sure she will. Y'all better get off of that.
Love you, Sabrina.
Oh, my God. And Sean said what's up to you as well. So
yes, he just hit me up in the DMs, and I was like, yeah. I like Sean's energy. Very chill, very calm.
He's very wise. Very wise.
Yeah. What do you know what his job is? Because we need to be knowing out here in them streets, okay? Because he was saying journalism.
Why you say it like that?
Hey, it's not me. I'm just repeating what the ladies were saying. It's about journalism. What does that mean?
I don't be all up in their job business. I don't know. I know there's journalism. He acts. I know that he's been in some movies or films. I know that he hosts like speed dating type things. So I think he's a man of many hats. I know he's published or is about to publish or has published a book. Yeah, Sean has a lot to share. Like he's an extremely intelligent man. So and again, he's a man of many hats. I think he has his hands in a lot. So yeah, I can't say what his. I just can tell you the multiple things that I've heard him say he does.
Okay, cool. Just to make sure, because the ladies were on his neck asking, "What is this journalism that he is?" So someone said he's a Sean entrepreneur.
That would
He's a
actually be a good shirt. He should create a shirt that says Sean.
Sean entrepreneur. Yeah.
Yeah.
AW. Okay. Sean entrepreneur. We like it. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. I don't think we finished our conversation on Camille and Cornelius, did we? We didn't finish. I think we went
Oh,
left. We went
how
left.
I just, again, there's to my understanding, Camille said that was like a 4-hour date. So we only saw clips and pieces of that date. So we probably
always
lost
only see bits and pieces of a date.
bits and pieces of the date. I don't have many words. I don't have much words to say to it. All I know is her friends was throwing her under the bus a few times, throwing the fact that she got engaged.
Sounds a bit like Jason from last season.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm gonna go with what the friends said. I'm gonna go with what the friends said.
The friend.
Okay, she got commitment issues. She needs to fix
Yeah,
that.
they said she had commitment issues and that she, the whole runaway bride thing, and they were shocked that she was considering to be with someone who was waiting to get married. So
is that an edit or is that hinting? Is that an edit? Is that an edit? I'm not even trying to tell the Mick. I'm being deadly serious. Is that an edit? Because
I don't know if that was an edit. I don't know if that was an edit. I don't know.
If your friends say that about you, I am going to run with that. I am not going to try and disprove them. And if they're lying, you need new friends. And so my next conversation that I have with you should be, I got rid of my friends. Because your friends can't come out and be telling me that stuff. So either they are lying or they're telling the truth. And if that's the case, if they're telling the truth, I need to run. And if they're lying, then you need to get new friends. Anyhow, we're gonna know.
Or it's not good.
Either or it don't look good.
Don't look good. It don't look good. That was a little bit of a cringy friends day. I probably think it was probably the cringiest of them all. I would feel some type of way about my friends throwing that out there about me. That's all I gotta say. And I feel like a lot of people are like, Camille's a liar. She's a liar. And I was like, she never said she was waiting until she getting married. She said she could wait. But her friends laughed when they said that. I don't know.
Because they know who she is. Okay? Your friends know who you are. All right? I'm not about to disbelieve them. Okay? There were 3 of them that laughed at the same time.
Probably do the same thing.
Yeah, because they know exactly what you would and wouldn't do. Yeah. So if they laugh at that point, then we know what one. So show me your friends and we'll know who you are. So Camille, I know you watch these things. You know where I am, baby. I need you to answer me this question. What's going on with the commitment issues? We want to know what I'll go on for that. You know what I mean? You know where my DMs are. I'm saying, hit me up. Okay, yeah. Then there was Mameen and Dante and Walter. Listen, what is going on? Listen, I love Mameen. I do. All right, I love her. But I'm gonna need you to dial this back. What's the holding of the hands underneath the table? Okay, as if you're meeting your parents and you're trying to be a little bit cute with your boyfriend when you've got another man coming. Walter had a flashback.
Mameen did not know that both guys were coming. So I'm gonna tell you that she did not know.
They always do that, don't they?
She did. She didn't know both the men was coming. She don't know that man. She didn't know they was coming. Dante is a spiritual energy, person. He's like the meditator, the person who wants to calm you down in chaotic moments type of guy. So I think that the hand underneath was just to calm her down, because when Walter walked in, I think it's probably 2 things: to calm her down And also because another man walked in. So to be like, I'm here with you. You know what I mean? So I don't think it was anything to do with her. I think it's just a Dante thing. That's just what Dante does. He's just a calm spiritual yoga, that he's that guy, Um and when Walter walked in, you can tell if you look at it, you can tell that Walter was like taken back that somebody else was
yeah.
there, And he even said he was taken back that somebody was there. So when he walked in, he was just like, the fuck? Like, I thought this was supposed to be a friend's date. So I think it just threw the whole thing off. And Mumin is so sweet. So she was trying to keep the energy going and, but that's hard to make sure both guys were there. Like how do you do that? Like it's just weird.
I mean, obviously, I was gonna say, obviously, yeah. I mean, I get that. So obviously, she didn't realize someone else has come in, so that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. Throw this season away. I'm gonna say it. Throw this season away. Throw it away, okay? And we're throwing it away earlier than we did last season. So I'm saying throw it away because some of these matches don't make no sense. Because I'm trying to figure out where Dante and Mumin are meeting. When has Dante said he's waiting to unless Mumin hasn't said it directly, and we've also made this up as well. I thought she's waiting till marriage, but she's not. She's waiting to the right person, isn't she?
I thought she's waiting till she gets married.
Okay, so she waiting till she's married. Is Dante gonna wait till he's married? Because he already have 3 kids. I'm not even trying to shade him. I'm just being honest.
I don't think Dante waiting till he gets married. He might as well hang that up, child. Dante's not waiting till he's getting married.
Throw it away.
Not that I know of. Dante is not waiting till he gets married. No.
It's a no for me. Okay, it's a no for me.
It's a no. It's a no for him and Mumin to be together.
Yeah, where are we going? Where are we going? It's like same with her and Frank. Where are we going? At this moment,
there's any guy in the cast that's actually waiting till they get married. That's not one man in that cast. So it's a no for her across the board because there's no man in that cast that's waiting till he gets married, including Cornelius. What just dropped? That was the Lord. I'm sorry, God. Don't be mad at me.
Okay, yeah, you're right, including Cornelius because he's not waiting to marriage now. Now we know.
I'm just saying. I don't think anybody waits.
So Dante is not going to be the one. Yeah, Dante's not going to be the one. So that needs to be in the bin.
You never know. She might change his mind. Okay.
Girl, please. He's not going to change his mind. He did not come on the show to be changed into a man that would not have sexual marriage. He going to stay where he going to stay. He going to end up doing what he do.
Okay.
And then there's Walter.
You're not feeling Walter and Mumin?
Well, the brother already told us he on the table with Courtney, Camille, and Cornelius. If the brother wants sex, the brother's going to get some sex. So I don't know how waiting until end of marriage is going to happen again. In fact, Mumin, it is checkmate. It is she's going to have to self-eliminate, okay? But she might have other, agendas on the board. So I can understand that. I'm not going to judge you. But the truth of the matter is, baby, it's time to disconnect, okay? Because there's nothing on that board for you.
What do you think she should just self-eliminate?
Yes. There's nothing on the board. There's nothing on the board, but Ben,
you gotta try. She's trying. I don't think she should.
You're gonna try and fall. You're gonna try and fall, and you're gonna be saying, "I don't know how I got here." You're gonna try and fall.
I will say though, and I said this when we did the live after the show, that Walter did look like he was shocked, but I also felt like Walter was very comfortable in Sabrina's friend date. Like I felt like they had strong chemistry. I could just see this chemistry with them versus there he seemed like just kind of sitting back, and then I didn't see as much energy and connectivity as he had with Sabrina when you were doing the friends date. So I did notice that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. The person who picked the castmates, you're gonna have to do better next season because you where we why are we putting this bunch of people together? People want kids, some people don't want kids, and it's got to a mad situation. That is a big thing. So that's not a thing that's going to be bargained with. That's not a chip that's going to be suddenly overturned. Do you know what I'm saying? People want sex, people don't want sex. It's a big thing. If there's nobody there that wants to not have sex, why are we putting somebody there who doesn't want to have sex? Like, unless people are lying on their CVs and lying on their videotapes, listen, this whole cast, throw them away, not because they're bad, but because they're bad matches.
Oh God, I'm not gonna say don't be throwing my cast away. I'm not gonna say I disagree with you on some of the backgrounds not necessarily aligning, but you never know what was said to get them in the door. So we don't know, the whole interview process because they do like hardcore. It was not an easy process getting casted for the
Into it.
show.
I
I
agree.
mean, talking background checks. They called my family asking, questions, and it's a
And they
lot.
still got it wrong. Sis, you ain't helping them. You digging them a hole. They had research and still mash it up the way they've mashed it up. Nah,
I mean,
they don't
I'm,
get a pass.
I'm just saying it just wasn't an easy process. We didn't have to just do one job interview and they were like, yes. It was like multiple things that we went through for the decision to be made. And I'm just gonna
Mm.
leave it at that. I've already
Well,
said too much.
I'll be doing a video to the own network. I'll be personally atting them so we can get some things changed.
Oh
Because
Lord.
right now it is trash. It's not working. No, we're getting at it's getting to that point where people are actually turning off. I want to see the show
Really?
flourish. People don't want look. If you listen to what people are saying, they don't. Some people don't even watch the show. They actually watch our reviews. They don't even watch the
Yeah.
show. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, I
there's
get
something we
it.
need to do.
I get it. I think that, it is very different because, again, I've watched from Atlanta to Houston. Like, I've seen
Same.
the different seasons. So I do think it's a little bit different this season on how it's being, the storyline is being set out there. But I think people should still give it a chance because it might just be like a late blooming process. Because as you see,
Mm.
there is a buildup that's happening, and I think more will be revealed as things start being shown. Like, again, we are all looking at it with fresh eyes with y'all. So I don't know what's gonna happen on this next episode, but I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised as things start to unfold. That's all I gotta say. Y'all
Mm.
can't say too much. Y'all gonna get me sued. Own network be everywhere.
Don't worry. I'm saying it. I'm saying it, not you. I'm saying it. So, own network. You see me. I know you. You know I know you. You know me. Okay. All right. The audience are telling us they ain't with it no more. Stop the shenanigans. Let's get some real matches up in here.
So what is the
Okay.
main thing? What is the main thing the audience is complaining about? Like what is it
The
that
main
they
the main thing is that there's no matches, and there hasn't been for the last 5 seasons, and the responsibility does not fall on the cast. It falls on the people who are casting because they are doing extensive research behind the scenes. So give us an idea as to why you think these people are going to be matching, right? Because right now, all it looks like to the audience is they're using black people for entertainment. We are doing basically, what do you call it? What do they call it? Blackface, basically. That's what we're doing. We're literally dancing on the screen, tapping for massa once more. Because it's like,
Woo.
we want to see real relationships. I think season 1 was cool. Season 2 was really cool. We saw some authentic relationships, and we understand people are going to come in for clout. We know that. That's not what we're saying, right? But
Yeah.
if you're gonna choose people, make sure that these people, you are researching them. You're doing all this great background work, doing amazing stuff behind the scenes to make sure these people are who they are. Let's not just pick people because they're entertaining, because the entertainment actually comes from us seeing your journey
Yeah.
dating people,
Yeah.
right? So, and if
Yeah.
we were to judge a success of a show, it's not only the ratings you have to judge it by. You have to judge it by the percentage that you see with the couples. Right
Yeah.
now, I can't think of one couple apart from Mario and Riva who actually have survived this process, which means it's not working. It's called insanity to keep on doing it over and over again.
Yeah.
Something has to give. And I think even one of the changes they can make. Owen, I hope you're hearing me. Okay. The audience are here. We're strong 450 of us. Okay. One of the changes we can make, okay, together, okay,
Mhm.
is let's stop eliminating people in the first round after what? A local mixer. It's not entertaining anymore. Okay. The surprise element's gone. It's okay. You did it the first time round. Let's change it. Give
Yeah.
these people, a good 3-4 days and send some dates. Let us build up the connection, because what's gonna make people buy something is that I'm emotionally connected.
I
I don't buy into any of I'm not emotionally connected to any of the characters at the moment because we're all over the place. So let them do it 3 or 4 days. Let them film for 3 or 4 days, seeing you guys connect. And then when you get eliminated, we're gonna be like, nah, how can they get eliminated? It looked like they were really getting on. Da, 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 da. Then it becomes like, oh my God, we don't want to see people get eliminated. Right now, it's just like, okay, in the first week, we're gonna get Tommy to eliminate somebody. Nobody's shocked anymore. Because it's the
Yeah.
same people that always go every season. I can plot it just by looking at the person. They're gone, and they're gone.
Y'all knew I was going to get eliminated before I got eliminated.
I'm sorry, Keri. I did say that was my bad. I'm sorry.
I know. I already saw it on the comments. They're like, Keri's next. I can't say I disagree with you. That's why I don't have like a rebuttal. I can't say I disagree. I think that it's disappointing because there were actual connections that were made, but y'all aren't able, it's not flowing where you guys can actually see it happening, and that's the frustrating part, because y'all are like, where the hell did this come from? Because you're not seeing the flow of it. And I can't say that I disagree with you, so hopefully they'll take note of that and understand it's the elimination part is not the entertaining part, but the actual seeing the connections unfold and people getting to know each other. That's the beautiful part. So we do want to see Black love, I even when I first, like, I think our first deliberation, I was like, I hope all of us make a genuine connection with somebody, but again, you do have some people who are opportunists. You do have some people that have an agenda. So, in those, that doesn't get revealed, up front. So you never know. You don't never know people's intentions, but you do have people who are on there who are genuinely looking to make a connection and is looking for love. I happen to be one of those people, but I guess I'm not entertaining enough, or, I wasn't making my connections like I should have fast enough. I'm a little bit of a slow mover when it comes to that. So, I still think you guys should push through with us this season. Just push through.
Oh, we'll push through.
I think it'll get better. But I do know I've seen the struggle and I understand. And I think we all kind of understand what you guys are talking about, because we're just as frustrated as you guys are, to be honest with you. We are.
Do you guys get asked who you have a connection with then every day? I'm guessing when you guys have a shoot, do you guys get asked by production, like who you're connecting with? Because obviously, I'm guessing you guys have a conversation behind the scenes. So
yeah, like on deliberation, we talk about it. When we have our interviews, we talk about it. So yeah, we talk about where we're at with our connections. We do. Who we're feeling. People talk on the phone. You have all types of ways where you're building something. Y'all just don't. I think it's just difficult for them to show it on
all the way
TV.
through.
Yeah, all the way through with the small amount of time that they have to show everything. I think like they're trying to build up to it, and then it'll all kind of come together towards the middle end, maybe. But I don't know, child. I'm not in production, so.
You know what would be good is like when they find out who you're connecting with, they set you up on a date with that person. What we've heard from past seasons is that they don't care about that. we're going to set you up with people we think is going to be great entertainment. That means you're not, and this is me saying, or not you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it to own. Look at me good. Okay. You're not trying to help us have black love. You're helping us have black entertainment at our expense. Because if you got a connection with me, Keri, the first thing they should be doing is saying, okay, you two, we're going to film you on a date now. We're going to make sure you two go on a date. We want to film a date between you two, and we get our storyline. Boom. It's that simple. Then all of us have got a storyline, because this season, the storyline has been jacked up. Last season was bad, but last season was okay. This season has been jacked up. Baby, I don't even know where we're going. We are not going linear. We are going ziggity zag zag, ziggity zag zag, ziggity zag zag.
Ziggity zag. Oh God.
Ziggity zag. Baby, ziggity zag's even a pattern that would be acceptable. We are doing we're doing signs, gang signs, and circles and all this kind of stuff that don't make sense right now. So it's hard to follow the story. And that's what I'm saying. This is me saying as an improvement. We want to see Ready to Love continue. Not saying shut it down. We want to see it improve. You know what I'm saying? So I'll do a separate video so we can do the feedback. I'll get the audience to also give us some feedback in terms of improvements that they can make, so that we can help our people move this forward, because we can't do another season with the shambolic storylines that are going on, blood, because we can't follow it. We can't follow. We you know what I mean? We want to invest in you.
We want y'all to invest in us.
Yeah.
No, I again, I can't. I don't have a rebuttal. All I know for me personally, who I wanted to go on dates with, I did not go on dates with.
That's what I'm saying. What's the point? What's the point? That's not about black love then. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, Discovery, listen, don't try to shut me down on YouTube. Listen to us, we can help you. Yeah, I know be trying to send these bots into my phone. I've never had bots in my life until Discovery's found me. But no, Jakes. Listen, if you wore me, you wore Jesus. Then listen, I don't play around, but I'll take it to the spiritual realm. But no, honestly, because we do want to invest. Do you know what would be sick? I think it'd be sick if we get to have somebody interview you guys before the show airs, so that people can actually buy into you. Like, you know, we're doing it after, so we're getting to see you after, but maybe having an interview, maybe not spilling no tea, but just getting to know you, so we can invest in you.
I mean, we had those. We did have interviews previous of the show.
So they had this season.
We had interviews. I guess it just I didn't have access to like show you guys everything. It was like certain bloggers that, you know, came through and they talked to us. So we did have that before the show aired. So
okay. All right.
Okay. Everybody keeps saying, listen, I got the message. Everybody keeps saying Keri should have worn her hair like this, not the braids. Listen, y'all, it was summertime. It was summertime. It was hot, and I did not want to stress over my hair. But duly noted, I'm glad y'all like my hair. Thank you very much. They was not feeling me in the braids. They were not feeling those braids. They were like, Keri need to get her braids redone. I like to keep my edges out, guys. That's why the hair was out. I just like to keep my edges out so I can still have edges after the braids. But yes, I would have loved to have worn my hair out, but if y'all
like you
y'all
said,
would have been talking about me on that first episode, and I probably would have been eliminated, because yeah, I'm natural. It would have been a struggle. I would have been it wouldn't have been cute. So I just keep seeing it. I keep saying it.
Everyone's just like, you look so bomb. Keri looks so nice. Keri looks so beautiful. I'm like, oh, okay.
I appreciate the compliment, though, y'all. It's all love, so I appreciate it. You know, we be getting on each other about our sisters begin on each other about our hair. I want y'all to be honest. Let me know what look cute.
I think you look cute both ways.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's no worries. But alas, I think I don't know who else. Anyone? I think that.
Thank you, Alexis. My girl Alexis isn't here. Love you, Lex. Yes, Alexis.
Oh, your friend Alexis.
Yes, my friend Alexis. If y'all need a dentist, she's a dentist and she's beautiful.
She's beautiful as well. Let me just pre that still quickly. Just what's
Alexis
the
Corbett.
Instagram? I'll just give a quick ad. Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I think we touched on all the couples this episode. I think we've touched on all the scenes. Have we? I don't think we've missed any.
Other couples.
I think we touched on them. Have we? I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think. So we did Mimine, we did Camille, we talked about Sabrina and Sean, Tasia and Phil's date.
Oh.
So it just, to me, Tasia and Phil's date, it looked very friendly. It looked like, it looked very friendly. I didn't really see like a romantic connection. Yeah. But I Tasia looked very pretty. I will say that. Like lips red, face beats the gods, but I didn't see like a romantic connection with on her and Phil's friend date. And again, Phil's a sweet, nice guy. So the friends, I think her friends liked him when they were talking to him. I thought it was funny that she said that she wanted when they were talking about kids, and she said you okay with 3? He was like, oh, 3, oh Lord.
Yeah, he was like 3. She's the only one that didn't sit beside him.
Yeah, she didn't sit beside him. I think Tasia is not one of those touchy-feely feel the need. Yeah, I don't think she's not one of those people who freely gives affection like that. From what I've known about her. Yeah, from what I've known about her. Yeah. You say what?
There's a guard up.
Maybe. I'm not sure about guard up, but I know that she's not affectionate like that. So
come on now, sis. There's a guard up.
You think so?
I'll say it for you. There's a guard up.
And why would you say there's a guard up?
You can feel the energy.
What's this energy you feeling?
It just Tasia can do a little bit of she'll do a little bit of the, a little bit of the flirting, but then it's like it always feels like there's only as far as you can go. And that's what I intentionally mentioned, that she was across the room from him, because the other 2 ladies were able to be beside him. And it's like, and listen, some people are just not affectionate. I agree. Some people just aren't. But this was an argument that happened earlier in the season as well, about the way that she deflects away from talking about herself. It happened with Frank, didn't it? So, I think there is a guard up there. You know what I mean? Plus, when anyone says I'm a feminine woman, and that's how they start their casting special, I already know you might not be as feminine as you're saying you are. Because if you've got to announce it, it probably ain't it.
I have to agree to disagree. And the reason why I say this is because I like to flirt as well, but I need you to give me that energy in order for me to give you that energy. The men in the cast, from my experience, are not assertive in that way. The women had to be the assertive ones. They were the ones that was really, doing the touchy-feely and the flirting and showing them that they were interested. From my observation and from stories that have been shared, from my understanding and my experience as well, there was 0 assertive men. That I barely. Why are you choking? I am a very, very flirty person, but I absolutely have to give me that energy for me to give that to you. I could not be a flirt in that way with these men because no one was giving me that energy, and maybe no one was interested, which is fine. But again, like, you have to, and with her being a Southern woman, I kind of understand why she probably is just like, I'm a chillin' too, and unless you give me that energy, then I'm gonna give it back to you. Walter, who he's interested in, you can tell who he's interested in because he touches them. He's affectionate. He's flirty. You can tell, and those women receive that. I was not receiving that type of energy, so I also was very not touchy-feely. The only person, when y'all saw my interaction yet again with Dante, I reached out and touched him. I was being flirty and fun with him because I know Dante outside of the show. So I'm familiar. He's a homie. He's cool. But other than that, that's about as flirty as I got. Like, I didn't get in that way with anyone else because I just wasn't receiving that energy from any of the men. But I saw a lot of that energy from the women. You know, the women were giving that to them. It's just kind of frustrating. I need you, I need y'all to bring out that masculine energy so I can bring out my feminine side. I'm just saying.
Okay, do me a favor. Can you just look directly at me?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you about to say something smart? I already know you are. What's up? Yes.
Cool. Did you see it?
No.
You didn't see it?
No.
You didn't see it?
What am I seeing?
Your future and me. My God.
Well, that was cute. That was cute.
Listen, set him up. Man, we're not being assertive. You know what I'm saying? Man, what's going on, Kez? You know, I'm gonna have to ask them.
Oh, child, listen.
I'm gonna ask the boys what's going on. Why they're not being assertive? This is getting a little bit techie, you know. Every season this seems to happen as well. This is the same argument. That's why I can't disbelieve you. This is not the first time we've heard the men not being assertive.
It's a thing. It's a thing now. Like, even men, they don't pursue as much as they used to. Like, it's a different energy that do not want to participate in.
So you know that, like, I know that production obviously got involved in the dates. Did the men ever get to ask you guys on dates and stuff like that? Were they doing that as much?
No, honestly, the only person who like verbally asked me on a date, which we already know how that was Corey. So no one. Corey, my man. Corey, the only one who verbally said it. I could give that to him. But no one was like, Keri, I'm going to make sure we go out on a date. I want us to go on a date. No.
Is that representative of DC dating?
Yes.
Is it because the men often have a lot, maybe they have quite a lot of options that they just used to just kind of
they don't
allowing women to come to them? They don't do nothing.
Yes. Correct. That's just how DC is. And I've noticed that really when I moved here. Like, I was just very confused. So I was like, what is this energy? Like, this is really odd. I'm seeing a lot of women approaching the men, or they're the assertive ones, or they're the more of the aggressors than the men are. The men just standing around. I cannot stand when a man just stares. Can you come say something? Like, I'm blinking. I'm, playing with my hair. There's eye contact. I'm giving you all the green lights. And for me personally, I'm not putting down women who do pursue men. Do you? But if I have to pursue you, there's a few things that I feel like is wrong. You either are not interested, you're married, you're in a relationship, or you might not be into women. Like, I don't want to try to force something, especially if I'm giving you the red carpet to come and pursue me and come say something to me by giving you all these flirty signs. But if you are not, coming through, or if you're not taking the bite, then you don't want to. So,
Maybe in a future show, what they can do is reduce the women's numbers so that there is more competition from the men. That might help them. I watched F-Boy Island on HBO this season, and they had 3 women. Yeah, F-Boy Island. Basically, the F-Boys are trying to be reformed. It was an interesting show, but they had only 3 women and had like 15 men. And then you start to see the competition really heat up. So maybe having less women would actually help there be more competition amongst the men. Now, it might not necessarily yield better results in terms of relationships. Let's keep it a buck. But it would definitely help in terms of competition, the men being a bit more assertive. Men need a goal, and they need to be able to attain something. So having that scarcity would probably help them flicker on a little bit.
Yeah.
But you said you were given like green light. What the flirt thing? What do you mean? What was that?
I mean, okay, so if I'm conversing with you, say we're already conversing.
Yeah.
If I touch you on the hand, if I'm laughing at your joke, if we're carrying on the conversation and I'm not like, have a good night, I'm gonna go over here. If I'm playing with my hair, if I'm looking you in the eyes, like those are signs that I'm like, I'm into you. I'm gonna give you signs that I'm into you. But if you aren't making any moves past that, then you're not interested, or you're married, or you're just not into me. What are you doing?
Just writing some notes. Keep going, baby. Just keep releasing the note. Release the.
I'm just saying. I like when a man, a woman likes feeling desired. So when a man approaches her, it's just like it does something to a woman,
And how do you like to be approached? How do you like to be approached? What are the words that can't be used? Like, is shorty bad? Hey, shorty.
I mean, it matters where you're from. It matters where I'm at. Shorty's not bad if you're like being respectful with it. Like, I don't know. It could be kind of cute.
Is ma'am off the table? Hey, ma'am.
Ma'am is off the table. Unless we're like, ma'am is off the table. You're gonna make me feel old.
Okay. What is your favorite word that you like to be called? So, like, if someone's approaching, what would your favorite word that you'd like to hear?
My favorite, I don't know. I like to know if you noticed me. So you say something like, I was looking at you across the room and you have a beautiful smile, or, just things that you pay attention to. I would like to know that you were sitting back and watching before you actually walked up to me, So when you say something that you've noticed, like you're not trying to run no one-liner that you do with all the women, which women can tell that. Stop with the one-liners, men, please. And stop with the good morning, beautiful. Stop.
So if I was like, oh, hey, excuse me, beautiful. So I just noticed the way you walk was so graceful. Is that too much?
That's cute, but it sounds like it's a little bit of game.
So we need to tone that down.
I like laughing. Like if a man come up to me and be like, "You got some big ass feet," that shit would.
Wait, what? In what world am I coming in there and be like, "Hey, baby, got some big ass feet"?
Yes.
Wait.
If somebody come up to me, like it's just something funny, because women are used to hearing you look beautiful, or you look very stunning. But if he come up to me like, "Man, I noticed you got like the biggest feet in the room, but you are so beautiful." I would literally start laughing, because I have a sense of humor and I like when people talk shit. I'm gonna talk shit right back. But listen, I just like people who are authentic and just being them genuine selves. Just don't try too hard and approach the woman. It's not that hard. It really isn't. Just be authentic, be yourself. And if you are really interested in her, let her know why. If you think she's beautiful, tell her she's beautiful, but go beyond that, and also ask questions about her. If you're really trying to get to know who she is or who this woman is, talk to her. And stop looking around the room while you're talking to her. That is such a turn off to me. Unless he might be a police officer or a detective or something. He's looking around the room. Or he just got out of jail. You never know. What are you doing over there?
But I might be looking around, for a purpose.
A purpose of what? I just said you
just
got out of jail. You say what?
To see where we're going.
Oh, to see that. See, that's the corny shit I'm talking about. That's. Don't take that note.
But did you smile though? You said corny, but you like me saying big feet. You better not be getting on my thing. But you want to hear big feet. You gonna take my. We going somewhere. You gonna take mine.
You gonna take the going somewhere.
You gonna take mine.
It's so funny. Okay.
Okay, so if we were to describe a good date, where would Keri would say, what kind of activity or what kind of place would you go? Obviously, Corey got your hands down already, but where would you prefer to go? What would you like to do if it was like a first date?
I wouldn't want it to be too uptight. Like, of course, everybody likes eating. So I don't mind eating, but I don't mind it being something casual. I like activities, you know. I love bicycling. Like, I love cycling. So if you have like a nice place that we can go cycle at and talk, I think that's a cute day. I just like activities. Like, don't ask me to go to the movies. I'm not going to go on the first date. I think going to the movies on the first date is literally a waste of time and money, because how are you really getting to know each other? If you are, I like dancing. So if you go somewhere where there's like live music and dancing, I love a cute little picnic, like something simple. Even if you want to, if you have like a cute coffee shop and you're like, I know this spot that's super dope. You want to meet me and just have a coffee? Like, it's not that difficult. I think men think that women need to have like a 5-star meal on the first date in order for us to be impressed. It's not like that. Like, if you're going to start off with a 5-star meal, make sure you're going to keep up with that 5-star meal. Don't start off with the 5-star dinner and then be like, all right, so next week we going to go to Denny's. You know,
that's what I've been saying.
Keep it
you
real.
have to start low and come up. Don't start high and dip. Up. You got to go high. Don't come high and come down. You're absolutely right.
Right. Or, you know, because these are supposed to be a date to where you're getting to know each other. So create the date to where you're able to talk. Like, don't try to do it to where you're trying to let everybody know how much money you have. And men with money, you don't have to let everybody know you have money on the first date. That's how you can, you know, weed off the gold diggers. Unless you want one. That's up to y'all.
I've been saying that all the time. The brothers be complaining, then taking her to an 8-star restaurant. It's just like, what did you expect?
They want to talk about their money the whole time. That is a turn off to me. I am sorry. Let me find out as I'm getting to know you. Because if you talking about, I'm sorry, if you talk about your money the whole time and you're in what you can offer financially on the first date, I'm thinking you ain't working with much. Okay. Talking about sexually. Or you also don't have much to offer past that. Like, that is what makes you is money. Get past that, you're probably boring, a hot mess. You got all types of stuff going on, you know. So let me find that out as time goes on. Let me be surprised, you know. I think that's very attractive when a man is humbly rich. You know,
humbly rich. I like that. Humbly rich. I like that. Humbly rich. So, you know, like, what would you say is your love language?
My love language is physical touch and quality time.
Oh,
that is my love language.
You know, quality time is 2. A lot of people don't know this. Quality time is actually 2. There's quality time conversations and quality time activities. Some people like to do activities. Some people like to talk. I think yours is activities because you've mentioned quite a few activities. So you like to do things.
Yeah, mine is probably more so activities. So I like creating like the memories with that person. So I'm like a visual person. So I like doing the activities and seeing how you move in certain scenarios. So yeah.
Are you the type to order a salad on the first date at a dinner restaurant?
Nope. I'm gonna eat. I have no problem with eating. I am going to eat.
If you were to eat somewhere, where would you want to eat? Like, what's your preference?
I guess based on the type of food I love Indian food. I love Mexican food, which they don't have very good Mexican restaurants in DC, to be honest with you. They really don't. But they have amazing Indian restaurants. So love Indian food. And y'all seafood is off the chain out here. So any seafood place got crab legs with the sausage and the potatoes, put in a little messy bag. I don't mind eating that either. And I will literally do the ugly face and eat it. I don't care. We all have to. So I'm going to eat that type of stuff. So yeah, Indian food, seafood, sushi. I'm really not opposed to any type of food. Probably my least favorite food is Italian, just because I feel so tired after I eat it. I'm like
It's quite
exhausted.
heavy.
Yeah, super heavy.
I'm with you on that. Italian's quite heavy. Probably not the best choice on the first date. You know, pizza's a bit heavy. You
Yeah,
know, then you're leaving slices behind, and I don't want to do that. So I don't look
yeah,
like a slob. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Mm,
yeah. Be all gassy and bubble guts and all that stuff, struggling. Mm-mm.
exactly. But if you were to have a pizza, what would be the topping?
I like meat on my pizza, so it'll probably be like pepperoni. I
Mm,
do like pineapple. I know some people hate it, some people love it. I love pineapple on my pizza. I like
I like a
extra
bit.
cheese. I like it
Mhm.
extra cheesy.
You
Somebody
like it
said,
extra cheesy, but yeah, when I was giving you the cheese, you were turning me down, bruv.
when were you giving me cheese?
I was giving you cheese.
Oh, the cheesiness.
I'm looking around. I say, where
That's
we
a
going? I
different
give you
type of
cheese.
cheese,
I
though.
give you proper cheese.
You did give me proper cheese. I appreciate
Proper cheese. Mozzarella cheese type of energy. You was denying it, bruv.
it.
Mm.
Courtney, come on through. Like, no, Courtney. Courtney, you can come. Um,
She wants to come
somebody
along to
said,
the pizza place. I don't have enough money for both of us there.
you got enough money, so you a bill or two type person. You gonna be paying
Courtney's
the
a
bill.
boss. Courtney's a boss. She can handle it. I'm gonna let Courtney handle it. She's a boss. I'm gonna let her handle it.
I'm not. According to me, you gonna pay for her pizza.
Courtney needs to handle it. She's a boss. We have to let Courtney handle it. But I'll get
Oh my
Cornelius. He'll do
God.
it.
Somebody said, I think you should punch a guy in the face on the first date. See how he
To
deals with
show your
rejection.
masculine.
If he leaves, he is a keeper.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you punch somebody in the face, I will walk away. Why would you
I'm
punch
not
somebody
punching
in
nobody in the face.
the face?
Because he might punch me back, then we're gonna have to fight.
Exactly. I don't want to fight and tussle. Okay, not unnecessarily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna leave it there. You know, I'll just be like, I'm out. Yeah. I mean, you punch somebody in the face on the first day. Who's doing that? You know what I'm saying, there's no need to show my masculinity at point and get shot and killed.
Right.
There's no point. There's no
Somebody
point. Gotta be
said,
bold.
they said, have you thought about dating an Indian man? They are awesome men.
Oh,
I've
have you thought
actually
of that?
I've dated an Indian man before.
Mm-mm. How was
I
that
think
like? Because
it's very
that's a cultural
yeah,
difference.
it's very much a cultural difference. I think that's a little bit of the struggle. It's just where do we align culturally when it comes? It's more so of the gender roles that it's very different for me versus how their culture is. But if
Mm.
they're open, we both have to be open. I embrace cultures. I love learning about new cultures. That's why I love traveling and I love different foods. But
Mm.
yeah, we definitely, when it comes to our relationship and our lifestyle, we're gonna have to like figure out how we're gonna do that.
Mm. When you said gender roles, I mean, how do you see gender roles? Like, are you saying you don't want to be necessarily tied down to the full on traditional role,
I
or
wouldn't say tied down to. I just would have to know what his practices are when it comes to the traditional roles of their culture, because some of the culture has it to where women don't even talk.
mm,
The men are talking and leading the whole time, so the women are just so for me, that's not something that I'm used to, so we would have to have that discussion on what your practices are, and if you where we at, what we gonna do with our relationship. I'm not talking down on anyone's culture because
of
that's
course,
how your culture is, but um there's some ways that I'm not gonna be able to adopt it, because
that
I
makes sense.
remember there was an Indian couple that I was helping at work, and I was getting frustrated because the woman wasn't talking. And the man was talking the whole time. And I'm like looking at her. I'm a woman's woman. So I'm like, what do you think? And she, nothing. And so he was
Mm,
getting frustrated because I kept talking to her. And so I had to, this is when I was younger. So I had to learn how to respect people's culture and what they practice. So now I know just based on how people communicate and body language, all that, you'll know how to handle it. But yeah, I couldn't do that. just kind of sit back and just be mute.
Yeah. I couldn't date somebody who was just going to be mute. I also can't.
Yeah.
I also can't date actors as well. But
You say
yeah,
actors?
can't date them.
Why not?
What do you mean?
Why wouldn't you want to date an actor?
How do I know you're not acting in my marriage? When do I know when you're acting and when you're not acting? I don't want to see you on the screen doing an acting role where you gotta be a little bit frisque. I can't tell the difference between the two. That looks very passionate. See, no
Do you
one
think
be thinking about that.
I mean, I wouldn't disagree, but I mean, there are actors and actresses that have successful marriages. I mean, look at Denzel. He's been with his
It's very
wife
true,
for.
but you never really see Denzel doing a sex scene. When's the last time you remember him doing something like that? It's very rare.
You know what? You're right. You don't see Denzel doing a lot of sex scenes. We're gonna have to let Hollywood know about that. I would love to see Denzel do sex scenes.
His wife ain't gonna allow him.
Like, you're not gonna cross this line. No sex.
Not at this point. You've done it for so long. You ain't about to do it now. Okay.
He's done like makeout scenes. Has Denzel done sex scenes? Hold up. I feel like
I can't remember him doing something like that.
Huh. I don't know. It doesn't. Nothing sticks out. Interesting.
Yeah, he doesn't do that. So I know another actor, he's a white guy who normally plays evil, the villains, but he also doesn't do it because he's Catholic. So, but yeah, a lot of people, yeah, man.
What if?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did he have a sex scene on Training Day? He
Did he?
have a sex scene on Training Day. Wasn't there a rumor that he had an affair with that woman too? Hold on, let me not start nothing that's not true. Oh, he did have a sex scene on Mo Better Blues. He sure did.
Oh, is it? Okay, maybe in his younger days he was doing a lot of that stuff then.
He showed dicks. I remember that sex scene on Mo Better Blues. Okay. I remember that sex scene, child. Yeah, they said he's done sex scenes in several movies. So you can't say that. He's been happily married. I mean, I wouldn't say, I'm sure it hasn't been happily this whole time, but he's been successfully married. He's stuck it through.
Oh, he had an affair. I didn't know he had an affair. Did he have an affair? Wow, mad to see.
I mean, that's rumor that he did.
Someone said that was 30 years ago. He
had sex on Malcolm X? I can't remember.
Damn, he be having sex on a lot of these shows. Let me take back what I said about Denzel.
You didn't take that back.
I've been missing Denzel.
But you know what? I think we're so used to comparing the raunchy ass sex scenes because now they just go full fledged,
man,
easy with it. It's
you
pretty
just
much
seeing legs, and,
yeah,
and back and buttocks. I'm like,
you see it all. But back in the Denzel days, you knew they were having sex, but you couldn't see like the full body of it. Yeah. Somebody said, what are we talking about? We're talking. So he was saying how he couldn't date an actor or an actress. And I said, why? And he said, because I won't know the difference of them if they are doing sex scenes, acting versus with me, like he won't know if they're acting or not. So that's where this conversation is coming from. They're coming in like, what the hell are they talking about?
I'm telling you, listen, you don't know, man. These actors out here, they get themselves confused. I did some acting myself, and listen, when you cheat, the same energy is what you use to act. It's the same energy. It's a compartmentalization, getting into character, and it's a scary place to be. So for me, no.
Yeah.
So if you're an actor out there, don't holler at me, all right? Unless you're making good.
Somebody said they would marry an actor. I don't know. I would probably, I don't know. It matters how grounded he is. I don't think I would be able to marry any celebrity that's like out there. Like I would marry someone that is strictly about their talent. Like if you're an actor and you're strictly, that's what you're focused on. It's just your skill of acting, that you're not out here in these streets. You're not trying to be famous. You're trying to be famous based on your talent. I probably could date somebody like that, but I couldn't date like somebody who's trying to be famous and all up in social media and TMZ every other day. Like I that's gonna bother me.
Because I had this discussion with because I was doing some extra work TV sets some weeks back, and one of the guys telling me about how he was on a set where they had to film an orgy, and I said, "So, bro, what are they actually doing?" He said, "No, but you gotta simulate it." I said, "What do you mean? You mean you're out here basically dry humping each other?" I said, "So, but
Not dry humping.
this sometimes I said to him, bro, that's a recipe for disaster. That don't make no sense to me." I said, "I'm okay, thank you very much. They shouldn't call me for any of those kind of scenes. I won't be going. There's no need for temptation. That's just putting myself in a whole lot of hot water." That's what I'm saying. This acting stuff is a bit for me. It's a bit some way. Yeah,
It's a lot. It's a
don't
lot.
have to get a stunt double for me to do these scenes. Yeah,
Or to do those scenes. I think most actors and actresses who probably has a successful marriage I think it's the people who are not in that world with them. I feel like Hollywood, actors who marry each other, it does not last.
Yeah.
Like it always falls apart. But I think some normalcy versus kind of like that crazy Hollywood life, they kind of can go back into like that normal lifestyle where it kind of humbles them. Like Matt Damon and his wife, she was a waitress when he met her, and they've been married. They've been married with children since. Like they've been together forever.
Matt Damon, solid guy. I was always rooting for Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. Yeah, it's a shame they couldn't make it, man. That was my Mr. and Mrs. Smith, man.
Well, you know how things start off is usually how it ends, child.
Oh, how did it start off?
With him being married.
Oh, baby. Oh, seriously.
He was married to Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, yes, the girl from Friends.
They got on when they were on Mr. and Mrs. Smith. They started the whole little affair.
Yeah, I would have had an affair too after I done Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
She's beautiful.
That film is toxic. It's toxic, sexy. So I can understand why they decided to do that. So you're gonna find out you're gonna end up loving your coworker. Like, nah, because you spend so much time with those people on set, off set, doing this. It's a lot.
But his wife was an actress. I mean, how disrespectful is that? I mean, Jennifer Aniston was kind of up there. They were together for a minute, and he basically dropped her like a $2 hoe and went with Angelina.
I mean, I'm not saying that that you should be doing this, but Angelina is Angelina.
But you
Aniston's Aniston from Friends, but Angelina Jolie at the time.
You would have married somebody with all them kids and want more kids?
Definitely not.
He had a lot of children.
He got caught up. That's his mistake right there. Okay.
What?
You're not supposed to get caught up with the help. You know what I'm saying, my brother? You're supposed to get in and get out, and he got caught up. So Jennifer paid the price.
I guess. You're saying that for him. That was a woman who did that. You'd be saying a whole different storyline.
You're right. I'm not agreeing with his behavior. It's trash. It's totally trash. I ain't gonna lie to you. Well, guys, we have come to the end. I hope the fellas were paying attention. I have secreted all the information for you. There is no excuse for the Mandem in DC. There is no excuse. Okay, I have extracted the information from Keri to how to even get a first date. I've even got first date where she wants to go and stuff like that. There better be no excuses. I've done the hard work for you.
You have done the hard work for them, but there's going to be some excuses. Someone told me I need to start going to Baltimore, Maryland area more. They told me I need to get out of DC. They might be right.
Okay. How far is Baltimore? Is it far from DC?
Baltimore's like an hour away from me.
Yeah.
But there's Maryland's right there, just Maryland. I don't really hang out over there I don't really hang out that much outside of DC enough. So I need to spread my wings to the DMV area.
Okay. Just to make sure you don't got no hobos.
Homeless dudes and be more.
Yeah, just don't go and get no homosexuals, please. We need men with homes. Okay, who can pay
Oh,
more than
God.
1 or 2 bills. Okay, yeah. So Keri, just want to ask you a serious question. It's
Okay.
been such a great date on the second event. I really would have liked to take you out for a third date on here once more after the reunion airs. How about it?
Absolutely. I would love that. Yes.
Fantastic. We might even bring some food this time. Yeah, a bit of a blanket.
We should. We said this last time. We should
You did
eat.
say that last time.
We
You
did.
did.
But we can't be eating nothing ugly though. It has to be a cute
Yeah.
food. We chomping all hard, digging in our teeth. It has to be cute. So,
I think the
yes.
ladies want to know what your lip color is and what I think the style of it is. They're asking what your lip.
You know, should I tell you this? Let me see. I can grab it real quick.
Yeah,
I
go
know
for it.
it's small X. Okay, give me
Go
one
for it.
second, guys. Okay. I appreciate y'all liking my lip color. I tried to make sure I look good for y'all. It's NYX and the color is Berlin. Berlin. It's like this color.
Berlin. Ooh, it's like a nudish red. Nudish red. Is it brown or is it red?
No, it's like a brownish color, like a brownish reddish undertone. It's called Berlin. It's actually one of my favorite colors. Berlin.
Berlin. Okay.
NYX.
Okay.
It ain't expensive, child. Very affordable. Very affordable.
I mean, you say it now, but how much expensive is subject.
Honestly, if it's $10, it's not expensive.
Oh, okay, beautiful.
Yeah, it's very affordable. That's why I like NYX because their lipstick and eyeshadows and all that is not expensive at all. So yeah, Berlin.
Okay. Well, I hope the ladies are satisfied. They got their lipstick now. They now know where it's from. Go out and buy it. Keri's just single-handedly boosted the sales of Berlin lipstick now. So I think if you get a little message from the team,
yeah, I need a check.
Because Sabrina said I'm gonna send a box of
Right.
Berlin.
Facts. I would love a box of Berlin lipstick.
Box of Berlin lipstick. Well, Keri, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed myself.
Me too, as always.
As always, it's fun, man. It's fun.
Yeah.
So, we'll do this, chop it up again after reunion because I'm not here from next week. So I'm in Ghana, as I said earlier. So I won't be back till probably the reunion actually, I think, finally airs. So yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so excited for you.
Oh, what's Ghana?
When you go to Ghana, you're gonna have an amazing time. You might meet your wife out there.
I might do, I might do, what I'm saying? You never know. Like, I'm feeling a Ghanaian girl, take back to my mother and tell her.
Yes. All right. Well, I look forward to our third interview.
Okay. No worries. It's a date. No worries. Not an interview.
Yes.
I have to just change that. You know what I'm saying? Because you got big feet.
It's 8.5, 9. I mean, it is kind of big, a little bit.
It is what it is. You know what they say about big feet, right?
For women? What they say?
I don't know. I was asking you.
I don't know what they say about women. I know what they say about men.
I know what they say about men.
I don't know.
I think I'm like a size 10, 11 in the US. So, I mean, but I don't know. I mean, I read my Bible every day. So, but yeah, guys. Man, it's been good. It's been good, guys. I've enjoyed myself. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. And again, Keri, thank you for your presence, your energy. It's larger than life. And it's good to have you on here, man. It's good to have you in here. So,
anytime.
Indeed. Audience, we appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded. And we'll see you again for another beautiful day.